Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Latimer Park for this night game. It's Tuesday night football here, Evo State League South Central Premier. Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Coalville Town, the Ravens, and you'll be able to hear this live on Poppies TV, and you'll see our highlights package and interviews later in the week. With me once again is John Dunham, local star reporter. He paid me to say that, of course. We were expecting to get Stratford Town manager Tom Bailey in, but we got the next best thing in John Dunham. So we'll have a word with John a little later. And obviously Marcus Law and hopefully some of the players after the game. But a crucial game for Kettering tonight. It's a catch-up game. Win this and puts more pressure on Stourbridge. And a game on Saturday where Stourbridge also aren't playing. If Kettering can get at least 4 points, I think that would be a good set of points to get.
Yeah, I think I said to someone, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I said before the game on Saturday at Lowestoft, if they took 7 out of the next 9, then it's over. For me, it's over. To be honest, you know, I think it's going to take a monumental mess up of epic proportions to.
Has happened before in
Kettering
history.
It has, but not in such a short space of time. I don't think. You know. The games are running out, and you know, not so much for Kettering, but for the teams chasing them. Yeah. You know, so yeah, they've just got to carry on doing what they're doing. It's a tricky game tonight because Coalville have got every reason to come here and try and pick up 3 points themselves. So, and you know, as I'm sure we'll talk about, they gave them a good game up there in January as well. So yeah, tricky one tonight, but they're just Kettering are just in robotic form at the minute. I think you know they're just ticking off these wins and picking up 3 points every week in a minute, and long may it continue. And the longer they do that, the closer the finishing line will come.
Yeah, on Saturday we came away with a well-deserved 1-0 victory at Lowestoft, albeit playing the majority of the game with 10 men after Aaron O'Connor was sent off in the 24th minute. We were ahead at that stage on 5 minutes. A great goal from Rhys Honus, his 17th goal of the season, 13th in the league for the Satos. It was a great shift from the lads, actually. And that was all against a team that had beaten Stourbridge 1-0 at the same venue earlier in the season. So that was a very good win. That made it Kettering winning 7 consecutive league games, and in recent years it means they're just 2 games behind 9 consecutive league wins, which is in Dean Thomas's era, 2013-14. We actually went on 10 games if you count the playoff semi-final against Daventry Town, but we won't count that. And it would be nice to get it to 8 out of 8 today. As you say, Coalville Town are going to be a difficult side to crack. It was a pulsating game earlier at the Manda Cruikshank Solicitors Stadium. I think I've got that right. Bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But yeah, they are 5 points, well, 3 points behind Stratford Town in 5th place. But they do have 2 games in hand. It was a cracker. It was 2-2, and Kettering were behind, but now scoring one of the legendary late goals that seems to be a feature of Kettering Town's play.
It's also a feature of a team that of champion winning, title winning teams of the past, isn't it? Even if you look at the grandest stage of Manchester United, you know, there's a reason why the term Fergie time was born. You know, it's because he drilled his teams to play right till the end, come what may, regardless of what was going on. And you know, Kettering have got that about them at the minute. They're playing for as long as they need to, and they are. These late goals, you know, I worked it out. I think it was something like since the turn of the year, including New Year's Day, I think they turned 4 points into 13 just with stoppage time goals. It's massive, and it's made a huge difference. And the other thing as well it does is it just knocks the stuffing out of other teams. You know, I recall us sitting here last season and, you know, watching on as Hereford were being held going into the 94th minute, and then they scored, and you as a fan or a follower feel deflated by that. So you can guarantee that the players feel that as well. So, you know, it's a good habit to be in, and it's really those stoppage time goals since the turn of the year have really helped Kettering pull away from the rest.
We'll give you the Kettering Town lineup if you've not seen it on social media. It reads like this. In goal as usual is Paul White. Gary Storer It comes in at number 5. 6 is Michael Richards, 7 Lyndon Meikle, 8 Aaron O'Connor, 9 Dan Holman, 11 Rhys Honus, 12 Dion Kelly-Evans, 14 Marcus Kelly, 15 Declan Towers and 19 Craig Stanley. Only one change there in Storer coming in for Ben Mills. On the subs it's 3 Ben Toaston, 4 the Kettering Angel, Brett Solkin, 10 Ben Mills. Ben Bradshaw gets in at 17 and Nathaniel Rowe Turner is at 18. So all depends where Marcus Kelly's going to play. Is he going to continue at left back or will he be pushed in midfield? We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, we were just having a bit of a debate out in outside the studio before we came on air, didn't we? And I suggested that he'd probably bring Gary Storer in to play him at left back and push Marcus Kelly on, but you know, Marcus Kelly's done a real good job for him at left back in the last few weeks. So I'll be interested to see what they do, but I would have thought the plan would be to put Gary Storer in at left back and push Marcus Kelly into that midfield area. But yeah, like you say, we'll wait and see.
Well, Coalville are managed by Adam Stevens. As I say, they're in 7th position in the league, just 3 points behind the 5th place team with 2 games in hand, so they're well placed. This is the first time since 1946-47 that a Kettering Town side have met the Ravens at a home venue, and that was in the Leicestershire Senior League. A game the Poppies won 4-0, which included a hat-trick from Arnie Woolhead. And we fast forward, as I say, to January 2019, where we witnessed that great 2-2 draw, and Kyle Perry scored both goals for the Ravens. Hasn't been in the side for a few games, but I see he's in their side tonight. No point those back headers at the back post will be a feature of their game. Both goals came from the back post. You may have seen them on the highlights on our website. Coalville read like this. In goal is Richard Walton. 2 is Alex Dean. 3 ex-Kettering player Callum Thomas. 4 Steve Towers. 5 Kieran Fenton. 6 is Joe Doyle Charles. 7 Luke Shaw. 8 Andrew Wright, and leading goal scorer he is. He's got 13 goals. 9 Carl Perry. 10 Cara Mitchell. And 11 Tom McGlinchey. Their subs are 12 Curtis Burrows, 14 Tim Berridge, 15 Tonio Momota, 16 Leonardo Brown, and 17 Matt Cotton. The referee tonight is Ryan Williams. The assistants are William Doyle and Mitchell Cartwright. So those are your teams. We'll go through those a little later when we go up to the commentary box. Saying that, we were in a good commentary box. I had Palmer and myself on Saturday at Lowestoft. Looked after us very well. The last game prior to that was away at St Ives, and we're going to show you some of the highlights from that game. And let's see if we can produce something similar. Aaron O'Connor's goal in particular was very good. John, talk us through some of these highlights. I don't know if you've seen them before, but
did have a look at them. Obviously wasn't at the game. Don't do away games. So
this is the penalty that.
Yeah, I think this was a no-brainer, wasn't it? Yeah. Looks a penalty, doesn't it?
No, I can't get there at all for that. It's a blatant dive.
Don't see many complaints about that one. But yeah, I mean, it's just another example of this game, isn't it? Of the character they've shown, because St Ives is not an easy place to go, and you could be forgiven that when they went 1-0 down and 1-0 down at half-time that they'd struggle because, St Ives did such a good job of winning here 3-0 earlier in the season. So I guess all sorts of doubts creep into your mind. But
Paul White, unlucky not to get a hand to that ball. He was very near it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And I tell you what, it was noticeable that he tweeted out about the clean sheet of the weekend, because despite them going on this winning run, there haven't been that many clean sheets along the way. They've had to score 2 or 3 goals to get the job done. So that was particularly
encouraging. We've had 13 clean sheets in the league.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I'm just saying in this recent run, I noticed there haven't been that many. So
just showing the Aaron O'Connor equaliser, and what a strike that was. He missed one earlier in the first half, but he really made amends for it, didn't he?
Absolutely terrific strike. Just lethal.
How much of a loss is he going to be, do you think, in the 3 games starting from Saturday against Banbury? Is that going to be for Kettering?
Well, it's a massive loss, isn't it? Because he scored 40 goals last season. He's had his injury problems this season, and he scored 10, I think, or 11. So, yeah, whenever you lose a player of his calibre, you're gonna really miss him. So, it'll be up to the likes of Dan Holman and Rhys Honus to take over the mantle. But
let's hope we haven't got to rely on penalty taking at the moment, because it isn't going too well, is it? After a great start with penalties this season, where we scored quite a few of them. Brett Solkin scored 9, Honus scored 4, and Holman 2. But recently, we've missed quite a few. This one here at St Ives, a classic miss from Holman, where you would have thought really, but off the ball it was when Cunnington went down. Cunnington, a name we've not mentioned recently, which is Holman with his penalty. And he wasn't taken particularly well. Nice height for a goalkeeper, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? If the keeper goes the other way, then it's a good penalty, isn't it? So you know, I think you got always try if you can, unless it's completely off, try and give the goalkeeper the credit. I think it's decent. I think it's a decent save.
It's the winner with a great goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's been good for him this season, hasn't he, Honus? He really has. He's just... Well,
I was saying to a friend earlier on today with O'Connor being sent off and Cunnington not featuring at the moment, it does leave the striking department a little light. But at the beginning of the season, Honus played up front on his own, didn't he? And,
he did.
He scored a lot of and
I believe he's a top goal scorer, isn't he? I think in all competitions.
He's got 17 goals, and the next one is Salcombe on 14. Holman's got 13. O'Connor 10. League-wise, it's 13, 10, 9, and Kelly on 8. Salcombe comes in at 6 on league goals.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in general, you know, the goals have been shared around a little bit, so they need to you know, make sure that they, you know, step up in the next few games. I mean, the other option, of course, is you know, maybe this might be a question for us to ask Marcus Lord afterwards. With O'Connor out, does he go and see if there's anything about? Does he go and see if he can bring someone in for a month on loan or whatever, just to tide them over? You know, I saw someone brilliantly suggest, and I never noticed. I didn't notice it until someone pointed out to me. But someone brilliantly suggested see if there's have a word and see if we can get Matthew Stevens back for a.
Don't think that will happen
for a month. But you know, it'll be interesting to see whether he decides to do anything, or whether he sticks with what he's got in O'Connor's absence.
Well, just see on our screen that we're going all around the world with this. We go all over the world with our commentary, which is great. And there's a shout here for Pala Otis, who's listening in all the way from Kenya. I hope the weather's better there than it is here. It's tipping down here, but it's nice Kenya. So well done, Pala, if you are listening. Great to hear from you. You can contact us, and we'll try and get you on air if we can. Anybody that's listening, we do that on the away games, not so much the home games, but we will try if you message us. Well, also, we have the DVD of the Charlton Athletic Kettering FA Cup 4th round game, played in 1988-89, an absolute classic in its day. There's only been a few minutes or seconds of highlights shown on YouTube from the BBC. We've managed to get a copy of this, digitalised it, and it is going to be priced at £10. All funds raised from this are going to go towards the Tin Hat Fund. And the discs will be available hopefully on Saturday against Banbury United. They will be available in the clubhouse. They can be pre-ordered. When we have got them all, we're going to get a PayPal account sorted out, so you can pay by PayPal if you are listening or if you're away from Kettering. I know a lot of people, exiles, etc., would like to have a copy of this fantastic game, and we will make sure that anybody that wants one can get one. But if you haven't seen it, I can't really remember too much about it. I was only 47 at the time. John, you were about 6, weren't you?
I would have been, when was it, 89? Yeah. January 89, I would have just been, well, you know, I don't want to go on about it too much, but I'm just coming up to my 38th birthday, so I would have been 8.
Nearly 8. Yes. Yeah, but have you seen that? Have you seen the footage at all? Or
I've actually seen the whole game before, actually, on a VHS back in the day. So I have seen it before, but I must say the little snippet that got put up online, you know, looked the quality looked fantastic. Really,
well, we have added some extras with it as well.
So considering when the
photos on there, and
considering how much has changed digitally and everything like that,
yeah.
The coverage looked great. So yeah, you know, it's going to be a great seller, isn't it? Because it's one of the days, you know, it's one of the days that people still talk about.
Well, let's hope that you can get your hands on one. We will see what we can do, but available from the clubhouse as hopefully from Saturday, priced £10. As I say, all funds going to the Tin Hat Fund. And if that is a success, which I think it will be, we're going to try and do an end of season goal feast, hopefully with the word champions on the on the title. Don't want to say too much about that. All the usual guff remarks about well, we don't want to
tempt fate.
Don't want to tempt fate.
No.
But, there we go. Well, John, part of your job here tonight is talking obviously about Kettering Town, reporting on Kettering Town. That's been your sort of feast for the last so many years among other clubs. But yourself and the team that you play for are having an exceptional season. We've spoken briefly about it. You're in 2 cup finals, and with a 4-1 win, I believe, was it, on Saturday away at rivals Malton Vets.
Yeah,
the Octarians, the 90-year-olds, whatever. You managed to go top of the league and will remain there as champions if the runners-up, Kettering FC Veterans, lose by 5 goals.
That's not quite right, but it's close. Yeah. So Well, yeah. So we won 4-1 at Malton on the Sunday, which was a great win, and that put us 3 points clear of Kettering FC, who play Malton in their final game of the season on Sunday, and Kettering FC have got to beat Malton by 5 clear goals to overtake us. So on goal difference.
You played them twice, Kettering FC. What's your instinct on that one? Winning by 5 clear goals.
You never know with
football. Isn't
yeah,
it?
you never know with football, do you? So no, I mean, Kettering FC beat us over at their place. They didn't seem to have beaten us this whole season.
Bus tour for them when they did that, wasn't it?
No. Not saying anything about
that.
But we beat them week before last 5-2 here at Latimer Park. So we just hope Malton go over there and do a job on them.
Been a great season, hasn't it? Really?
Oh, it's been amazing. Yeah, I mean, considering the way it started, in the first 2 games, we drew the first one and lost the second one. So if you told us then that at the end of the season we'd have 2 cup finals and potentially be champions, we would have just probably laughed our heads off and said you're having a laugh. So
no. Also that the ladies team there in a final against Peterborough United as well. We're featuring in our programme against Banbury United. The ladies have done an exceptional job against. We now meet Peterborough. So finals all around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's something to look forward to, isn't it? It's brilliant. You play hard on a Sunday to try and get days like that. So it will certainly be if selected, Gaffer. If selected, it'll be the first time I've ever played.
The brown envelope normally goes between.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's the first time I would have ever played in a football cup final. So it just goes to show that it's never too late, which is nice. So we've got that to look forward to. We've got Wollaston Victoria in the NFA cup final in April the 14th, I think it is, on a Sunday, and then we've got Bugbrook, who are pretty much widely regarded as the best vets team in the county, I believe. We've got them in the final of the NTFA Cup, which is at Sixfield. So
is that the one that's about 3 in the morning? Is it?
I think it's. We just got told beforehand there's a 9:30 kickoff. So
and that's the night after the.
It's the morning after. It's the morning after the presentation evening. Yes. So we're going to have to be on our best behaviour, I think. But But I mean, to get the opportunity to play at Sixfields is fantastic, even for a bunch of old men like us. To be able to play in a ground like that, on a pitch like that, will be terrific. So it's been a really, really good season. Hopefully, we get that first one in the bag on Sunday. But if we don't, then we've got 2 more to aim for.
Any plans of you guys going over to watch it just so that you can be there, or to cheer on Malton? Or
well, funnily enough, my son was supposed to be playing, because we haven't got a game. So my son was supposed to be playing at Kettering FC for his team on Sunday morning, but that's been called off, unfortunately. So because my plan was to watch his game and then catch the second half of the Vets game. So. No, I think I don't know whether any of the boys are planning on going over
someone's house and.
I think we'll. The thing is, the one thing we you have to take it seriously, because if you don't, then you're just going to end up getting beat every weekend.
You're in to win it, aren't you? You might.
Yeah, exactly. So if the result goes for us on Sunday, hopefully it does. If it goes for us, then we'll be really, really happy. But we've got more things to do. So we'll hopefully be able to have a good drink at the end of the season with a couple of trophies or more in our possession, with a bit of luck.
Well, better luck on that one. I'm sure that it'll all come good. And back to tonight. It's a difficult game against Coalville Town. The Ravens at league form the last 6 games have read like this. They lost 4-1 to Kings Lynn Town on Saturday. Prior to that, they had an easy 3-0 win over Halezone. They slipped up 2-0 at Royston, and at home against Tamworth, which was quite a surprise. They beat Stratford 2-0 away at Stratford. Stratford, I think, it was their first defeat in a long time up until that point, and they beat Hitchin Town 4-2. They've played 30. They've won 15, drawn 6, lost 9, scored 58, 10 less than Kettering, conceded 47. They're on 51 points and in 7th place. And indeed, if they win the 2 games in hand, they'll be on 57 points, which would put them in 4th place, clear of AFC Rushden and Diamonds and Stratford. So it is all in their hands, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at their recent form, you know, since that Stratford game, it suggests they might have just had a little wobble, doesn't it? You know, but you know, it's no disgrace in getting beaten 4-1 at Kings Lynn, because Kings Lynn are a very, very good side who, if they'd had a decent start, the league table shows you that they'd be right up there with Kettering, I think. So, you know, I'm sure they'll be absolutely fired up tonight to try to respond to that. So I think that defeat on Saturday only makes it doubly hard for Kettering tonight, to be honest.
If you look at the top 6 positions, ignoring Kettering obviously, but look at the Stourbridge, Kings Lynn, Rushden and Diamonds and Stratford. Kettering have beaten Stourbridge twice, they've drawn and beaten Kings Lynn Town, they've beaten FC Rushden and Diamonds, and they beat Stratford and drew with Coalville in 2nd place. There's not a defeat in there. Where I remember the last season when we played the top sides, there were a lot of defeats against Hereford in there, there were defeats against Kings Lynn in there. But this season, it's a different mentality completely, isn't it?
Again, and you live and learn, don't you? It's like anything, isn't it? No matter how many times you've played the game or how many times you've managed the game, you can always learn something, and that was one of the lessons from last season. You know, when it came down to the really big games, at the really crucial moments, Kettering just couldn't quite get over the line. This time, like you say, you only look at their record against the current top 5, and that's the reason they are where they are.
The thing is, with that top 5, it also changes quite a bit around the 4th and 5th place team, doesn't it? Because one win can move Alvechurch just behind their biggest.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the race for the playoffs at the moment at least, is a lot more interesting than the race for the title, because there's so many. I think there's, like you say, after Stratford, I think there's probably 3 or 4 clubs below them who are only within a point or 2 of them.
Speaking with Tom Bailey this morning, as I say, he was supposed to come on here and tonight, but he's having to take coaching instead. I was talking to him. They've got Kings Lynn, they've got AFC Diamonds to play yet, they've got Biggleswade to play, and they have Stratford as well to play. So, you know, sorry, it's not Stratford to play each other, but they're their own team. But they've got a very hard run in, and I don't think Kettering's run in is too bad.
No, I was having a look at that, and I mean, if we go by Kettering's and Stourbridge's respective run-ins, I think I'd take Kettering's over Stourbridge's with.
Well, Stourbridge can't afford to slip up, can they?
Well, no, that's the thing. You know, I think Stourbridge, in reality, they've got 8 games left, and I think they're probably going to have to win all of them to make Kettering really, really work for it, to be honest. So, but you know, if they do, then fair play, and Kettering will have to double their efforts up and finish the job off that way. But yeah, I mean, there's some massive games in that playoff shake-off. I think actually AFC Rushden Diamonds go to Stratford this weekend. So again, massive game. So it's going to be fascinating to see who's in there. You know, I think obviously either Kettering or Stourbridge are going to be in there, because I think Kings Lynn nailed on to
Coalville have got
be
Stratford as well. In there.
So there are some big games in there. You know, those last 2 positions. I think the top 3 is pretty much set. I'd expect the top 3 to finish something like it is at the minute. But the other 2 positions, it's all to play for. It's fascinating.
Well, Kettering's March fixtures read like this. On Saturday, we've got Banbury United at home. That's the second catch-up game over Stourbridge, and a win tonight and a win on Saturday would put Kettering 14 points clear, and I'd have to say game-setting match. But you never know, it is Kettering Town, of course. On Saturday the 16th, we're away at Biggleswade Town, who beat Kettering here. Then Saturday the 23rd, we're at home against Nearts Town, who've done quite well. And then we've got Leaston away on the 30th. So March is going to be quite interesting. I understand that the players are coming out in the tunnel, so John Dunham and myself will have to leave. I'm going to go up there and do some commentary along with Gary Foreman. So for now, there'll be a little delay while I clamber up the stairs in the rain. I've not done that very often this season, but I'm going to do that tonight. We will see you later on, hopefully with Marcus Law and 3 points in the bag. So just for a few moments, it'll all go quiet, and I will speak to thee in a few moments. Thank you very much.
Good evening once again to Latimer Park. Just clambered up the ladders on the gantry alongside cameraman Matt Spearman. Very windy up here. Rain just coming down. It's spitting down with rain. Players in the tunnel, and quite a good crowd for Tuesday night. And we will see how Kettering get on with this playoff game, but catch-up game against Coalville. The resulting fixture earlier on was 2-2. Kettering Town read like this. In goal is Paul White. 5, Gary Storer. 6, Michael Richards. 7, Lyndon Meikle. 8, Aaron O'Connor. 9, Dan Holman. 11, Rhys Honus. 12, Dion Kelly-Evans. 14, Marcus Kelly. 15, Declan Towers. And 19, Craig Stanley. Subs tonight for the Poppies are Ben Toseland 3, 4, Brett Solkin, 10, Ben Mills, 17, Ben Bradshaw, 18, Nathaniel Rowe-Turner. So just one change from Saturday, with Storer coming in for Ben Mills. A lot of people there behind the Brian Martin's pallet stand. Brett Solker's in front of us down here, all wrapped up nice and warm. It is quite cool as Gary Foreman makes it up to the gantry. Good evening, Gary.
Good evening. Fresh from the Klondike and programme table this evening. Good trade actually for a midweek game.
Really?
Yeah, the turnstiles were clicking over. Obviously the lure of Champions League football this evening, but hopefully the champions elect I prefer watching here this evening.
I think you're right. I watched some games on TV on Saturday, and I thought Sunday, I thought it was awful, to be honest. It can't really get into watching 0-0 draws, but there we go. But just give you the Coalville starting 11. In goal is Richard Walton. 2, Alex Dean. 3, ex-captain Callan Thomas. 4, Steve Towers. 5, Kieran Fenton. 6, Joe Doyle Charles. 7, Luke Shaw. 8, Andrew Wright. 9, Carl Perry. 10, Chiaro Mitchell. And 11, Tom McGlinchey. Your referee tonight is Ryan Williams. His assistants are William Doyle and Mike Mitchell Cartwright. Teams out on the pitch. Coalville, who normally play in black and white stripes, are in a rather fetching Man City type colour.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they look like Man City. I don't know whether that's a subliminal message. They're hoping to play like Man City this evening. I'll have the work cut out to do that, I must admit. But, yep, there's certainly a good contrast in the colours, so we won't get them mixed up.
Yeah, goalkeeper Paul White in his usual all green, and Richard Walton going toward the Brian pallet stand there. He's in a fetching orange number, so easily will stand out if we have any fog. We haven't, and the pitch looking reasonably good after all the rain that we've had in the last couple of days. There were some doubts on Monday if the game would go ahead, but it is. And
number 10 actually looks a bit like Leroy Sané, doesn't he?
Oh dear.
He's certainly got the hair for it.
Oh, they're more like Groucho Marx.
Caro Mitchell it is.
Harpo Marx, isn't it? Not Groucho Marx, Harpo Marx.
Yeah, Harpo Marx. Haircut, that might...
Yes,
might put a certain age bracket in the knowledge, whereas the youngsters will be scratching their head thinking, who are we talking about?
Well, it looks to me like the hair's going to blow off, you know. So, one thing I know I'm going to do about hair is put my hat on.
Put your hat on, Paul.
It is a bit breezy up here. If you've not been on the gantry, which a lot of you won't have been, it's a different climate up here, as John Dunham will testify, and a few others that brave it up here week in, week out. Mind you, it's only half the height of the one at St Ives that Richard Atkinson and Ed Parr and myself braved the other day. It's like Chris Bonington getting up to the top of Everest, literally with the ladders at a vertical stance. Richards then in the centre of the pitch, getting the obligatory handshakes out of the way with the officials. Kettering at the moment look like they're staying where they are, so they'll be kicking from left to right. They're kicking towards the Brian Martin Pallets end, and obviously Coalville, or Man Coalville we'll call it, Man City Coalville, will be kicking towards the rather empty tin hat stand at the moment. Not too many Coalville supporters have braved it, and I suppose you can't blame them, but Coalville have it all to play for. They've only 2 games. They're 2 games behind the chasing pack. If they win them, they could end up in 4th position. And this is a game where Kyle Perry is the threat for Kettering. He scored 2 headers at the back post at Coalville and was a threat throughout. Let's hope we don't get that. We're underway here at Latimer Park. The ball going towards Perry straight away, but Richards gets there. It's into the Coalville half, and the ball, Fenton puts it back to goalkeeper. He then is trying to hit Matt Spearman, and it hits the roof of the gantry. Ed Palmer again not upstairs when the ball is near us, but and it's going to be a Kettering throw-in with Kelly Evans to Richards. Richards flicks it through towards Honus, headed out for another Kettering throw-in midway in the Coalville half on this near side to Meikle from Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans hooks one in, and that is easy for Walton to collect. He bowls the ball out on the far side, and Coalville get the chance to put Kettering under pressure, which is a long ball. Kelly Evans heads the ball back to Paul White, who gets his first touch of the ball this evening as the rain a little bit heavier now. White delivers, headed back by Coalville towards Charles, but it's going to be almost a calamity there for Walton. He's had to come out under pressure from Kettering. Kelly Evans adjusts to a fouled McGlinchey. And Kelly is playing left back, his normal position, let's call it, and Storr in midfield. Kelly, as I think Ed Palmer said a little while ago, is his natural position that seems to be this season, and playing very well there, so he's continuing that. It's the only change, Storr, for Ben Mills from Saturday, and Kettering got 11 players on the park. Let's hope they can keep 11 players on the park, because this is a very tough game indeed. Any points that Kettering can gain tonight is going to be obviously an advantage, as Coalville get the ball into Kettering's half, but it's clear to Honus. Honus flicks it through, but the pass from O'Connor just a bit too heavy, and Honus couldn't keep that in. It's gone for a throw in on the halfway line by the tunnel. Gary,
yeah,
opening thoughts.
Talking of left back, of course, left back this evening for Coalville, Caelan Thomas. We're quite used to seeing him on the right hand side, but today he's got a left hand side, but we'll be interested to see how he gets on playing on his weaker foot on this side. But they look a physical unit, Coalville, as well as Perry up front. They've got a couple of big centre halves in Towers. So we've got 2 Towers on the pitch today.
Twin Towers?
No, 2 Towers.
2 Towers, not Twin Towers.
Not the Twin Towers, no,
Right.
it's 2 Towers. We'll do Lord of the Rings. So yeah, Kettering will know they're going to physical battle today, but as usual, get the ball down and play. That's the rule of the game.
Well, Honus is having a battle down by the corner flag, and it's cleared to Charles. It gets cleared onto the halfway line. Stanley wins that. Trying to find Meikle. Meikle gets it to Towers, and it's just pumped the way down. The Coalville player allowing that to go out under challenge by Honus, but it's going to be a throw-in by the corner flag to Coalville. 0-0 here at Latimer Park. Listen to Poppy's TV audio. And if you've not heard about the DVDs that are available, that's the Kettering Town against Charlton Athletic 1988-89
I was there.
FA Cup 4th round. Gary Foreman was there, so was I. And if you haven't seen that footage, you can. They should be available on Saturday against Banbury United. The price of £10. All funds go towards the Tin Hat Fund, as Kelly Evans is under pressure here from Kyle Perry, about twice the size of, and a poor ball there by Kelly Evans, slipped in, and that could have been very dangerous for Paul White, but luckily Mitchell couldn't control it, and the threat went, but Kelly Evans a bit too slight there,
that
slow.
Was a let-off. That
was a let-off
for Kettering. If he controlled the ball like Leroy Sarney, we would have been 1 down there. But and Mitchell, he looks a little bit like him, but certainly didn't have the control of him. Fortunately for the Poppies.
More Fellini, I think, than
yeah, Fellaini touch.
But anyway, it's Kelly Evans with the ball. He's got it to Richards from the throw-in. Kelly Evans now towards O'Connor. This is O'Connor's last game before his 3-game ban. He gives the ball away to Luke Shaw. He flicked it on here to Mitchell. Mitchell now with a bit of space, but it's robbed by Stanley. Stanley pumps the ball, and Kelly Evans does well to try and get it towards Meikle, but Caelan Thomas didn't play in the reverse fixture at Coalville, puts the ball out for a Kettering throw-in.
We do have a Premiership player playing this night, then Luke Shaw, obviously.
Yeah, he's making a guest appearance, isn't he, for Coalville?
Yeah,
as
making a
Callum
guest
Thomas gets the
appearance.
ball. It's hooked away by Kelly Evans, and that goes waywardly down the other side towards the corner flag as my pen has threw itself away from the pocket and landed on the gantry floor. Throw in to be taken by Callum Thomas. Still hasn't been taken yet. Is now longish throw towards Mitchell, headed out by Richards towards Holman. Holman to Meikle. Meikle trying to find Holman again. Doesn't get there. Towers pumps the ball. That's Kettering Towers. Pumps the ball for Honus to chase, but it's going to be Alex Dean who's going to get there first. He's going to shepherd that out and let it go for a throw, which he does. And it's actually come off Dean for a Kettering throw-in. Coalville can't believe it. Nor can I, actually. I thought that was a Coalville throw-in.
Yeah, a little bit strange, but yeah, well, can't moan if Poppies get a decision going in their favour. They probably didn't have a few on Saturday, it's fair to say. So, yep, keep them coming, ref.
Least said about Saturday's refereeing performance, the better. But it is Kelly with the throw-in, takes it towards Meikle. Meikle under pressure, loses the ball, and it finds its way to the Coalville number 4, who puts the ball out of play on the halfway line. It was Steve Towers, intercepted though by Richards. Richards tries a long ranger towards O'Connor. O'Connor can't get through. Out comes the goalkeeper, and good effort though. A good chase for O'Connor, and Sargent managing to get in front of the ball before O'Connor. Sargent comes out of the penalty area, plays the ball into Kettering half towards Perry. Perry heads it down towards Kelly. Kelly a long ball. O'Connor would have been offside. Callum Thomas is going to have to chase this. He's allowing it to go out of play for Coalville throw-in as Richard Lavery gives us some of his expertise down here with the cabaret we normally get on a Tuesday or Saturday. Little back flick there. That ball has been gathered by Richards, and O'Connor unfortunately offside from the resulting ball forward. Holman telling them to calm down. Has anybody ever calmed down when they've said calm down? Does that ever happen when you say calm down? Do people actually calm down or not? I don't know.
No,
it's
the quick answer to that. I think Harry Enfield used to have an old sketch show, didn't he? And half of that was going calm down, and the Scousers never did calm down. So
still haven't, have they?
No, they still haven't. No, they still haven't. Bless them.
Well, the back play is underway from the resulting free kick. Stanley gets the ball only towards Doyle Charles. It's robbed by Meikle. Meikle puts the ball through here towards Honus. He couldn't capitalise on it, and somehow Coalville get the ball away and kick it out of play, dissected between 2 Coalville players on the far side. Throw-in taken quickly towards O'Connor. There's nobody in the box at the moment. Holman's there now, and Kettering get a corner. Well played by O'Connor, playing it onto the Coalville defender. Goes out for a corner. Kettering's first. It's down by the turnstiles. The Kettering fans begin to raise their voice. No one taking it home in a second. Holman's going over of all people to take this corner.
First chance now for Kettering though with their set piece to test the Coalville defence. We know they're a threat in the opposition's penalty box.
And now it's Rhys Honus that has taken over the responsibility. Let's hope we can get a better corner than we did on Saturday. Didn't beat the first man the majority of times on Saturday, but it's Honus about to deliver his first corner of the evening. In it comes. Hasn't beaten the first man. It goes back out. Honus collects the ball again. Slips. Still with it though. Needs to get the ball in quickly. He does. Towards Towers to the back post. Towers might try a shot. Doesn't. And it's still in the penalty area though, headed out by the number 8 to Doyle Charles, and cleared eventually by Andrew Wright. Perry underneath it, won though by Richards. Missed kick now, and Holman can't get onto it. And then luckily for Kettering, Andrew Wright clears the ball, but gives it straight to Marcus Kelly. Marcus Kelly with a bit of space to run at. Nobody with him, has to turn. Still Marcus Kelly on the far side, flicks it through, but and then a push by Kelly on the Coalville player results in a free kick, rather fortunately for the Ravens, and it results still 0-0.
Yeah, early bit of pressure there, just the wrong decision. When I think when the ball came in, Declan Towers probably should have tried to head it across rather than trying to kick it across. The angle wasn't quite right, but most of the game it's been played in the Coalville half, so that's an encouraging start, at least for the Poppies.
Ball back underway from the free kick, and Towers gets the ball to Kelly. Kelly's attempted clearance hits Luke Shaw, and Mitchell claims a foul, but it goes for a Kettering throw-in on the far side. Kelly going over to take it. And again on Saturday we're here against Banbury United. That's the second catch-up game, let's call it, behind Stourbridge, so any points are going to be an advantage to Kettering. Kelly pumps the ball forward, and it's headed out by Coalville towards the number 7 there, Doyle Charles. He flicks it through and can only put the ball out of play. Kettering throw-in on the far side. Tempo of the game is reasonable at the moment. Neither side taking too much control, although the majority of players, Gary Foreman says, has been in the Coalville half. That's where we want to see the ball. And throw-in taken to Stanley, back to Kelly. Kelly with some space, fires one down towards O'Connor, but beaten to it by Steve Towers. But ball finds itself with Holman. Holman now feeds the ball forward, but it's too heavy, and that goes straight towards Richard Walton. And bit of interesting language there from the Coalville official. Picked the ball through. O'Connor's out here. Unfortunately, it was a one-on-one, and he just needed a little bit more control. He might have got a strike on there. Out came goalkeeper and denied O'Connor a good chance. We thought he might get a goal before he has to retire for 3 games. Headed on by Perry, and that finds the ball back with Paul White. Good chance though for O'Connor.
It was a man of his calibre. It was just a bad touch, wasn't it? The ball just bounced off him and went through to the keeper. So yeah, Aaron will be very annoyed there. He knows he's got the quality to get the ball under control far easier than that, and that was the best chance for the Poppies that went astray.
We have a throwing at the moment. It's Kelly in the Coalville half. He's got it to Meikle. Meikle turns under pressure, turns again. Good work there from Meikle. Still with the ball. Comes inside, plays it towards Holman. Holman has to play back. Beats 3 players in turning back. Does well there. Tries a long ranger. It is. Oh! And that just goes wide of the goal. I thought that was going to go in. The fans behind there thought it was certainly going in. A good strike from Holman. A good 25 yards out. And just goes wide and high of the Coalville goal.
Good effort from Dan. Talking to quality, we know he's got it. And yeah, the keeper was sort of rooted to his spot. He was looking at it, and he's either very confident it was going wide, or he thought, do you know what, I can't stop this one if it's going in the top corner, so I'll just stand and admire it. But he was glad to see it certainly go the other side of the post.
Goal kick taken and flicked on by the number 11 McGinley. It came off Kelly Evans. It's a throw into Coalville on our left-hand side in the Kettering half, halfway. Referee told him to go back. Callum Thomas takes the throw in quickly. And cut out by Richards. A slip by the number 5 there. And Holman gets the ball back to Storer. Storer to Meikle. Meikle to Holman. And it's going to be a throw-in to Coalville. Thomas with it. Thomas to Doyle Charles, headed out by Towers, back to Doyle Charles. He puts the ball square. It's going to reach Andrew Wright. He releases Alex Dean on the far side. Dean with a bit of space. He's got Kelly in front of him. Kelly intercepts, puts the ball out for a throw-in. But surface rather skiddy, slippy. It's, as I say, it's been raining, and the surface will come into the factor in this game, I think. Throw-in been taken, headed out by Richards. It goes out for another throw-in.
It's in better nick than I thought it was going to be this evening, though, Paul. So big up to Graham, the groundsman.
Yep, it looked quite nice when I came in. The way the lights were glinting off the surface, it was almost like a sort of Pirata-like painting as I came in with the sky in the background and the clouds, and it all went black. The lights went out. Getting back to the game, it's a throw-in on the far side, eventually to be taken by Coalville, still waiting to be taken. It has reached Steve Towers. He pumps the ball forward towards Perry. Perry heads up high. Only finds Storer back to Charles Doyle. Almost robbed by Meikle. And good tackle there. Finds Kelly, and then Kelly is tripped. And that should be probably a booking, maybe, or a little word by the referee. There's a late challenge on Kelly. I think it's
a word.
I think it's a word, isn't it?
Yep.
It is Alex Dean who caught Kelly rather late. And Paul White coming out to take this. Referee's having a word with Alex Dean. Don't do it again, mate.
Don't do it again, or you'll get a card. Yeah. Bit petulant, that's all it was. But yeah, good refereeing.
It's a phrase we don't use very often, isn't it? Good refereeing.
It'll probably change before long this evening. But you know, say what you see. I think.
Yep. So Paul White over this free kick, halfway in Kettering's half from the far side, delivers it towards O'Connor. O'Connor beaten to it, but it finds Kelly. Kelly squares it to Richards. Richards by the centre circle, plays it back to Kelly on the wing. Kelly pumps the ball forward towards Rhys Honus, who can only trap it and put it out for a Coalville throw-in. It's taken quickly to Charles Doyle. He hooks the ball forward here for Mitchell to chase. Mitchell and Towers. Towers gets there before him, and Kelly Evans has to hook the ball away. But again, this Mitchell looks a bit of a handful. Storer hooks the ball forward. Finds Meikle. Meikle still with the ball. Under pressure. Finds Kelly Evans. And Kelly Evans, a heavy touch there, and the Burton bobble came in there, and it goes off Kelly Evans for a throw-in. McClinchy doesn't decide to take it, gives it to former Poppy Callan Thomas, just by the halfway line, pinching a few yards. It's about 7 yards in total. Was aiming towards Carl Perry, didn't reach him. Booted by Richards, and that goes out on the right-hand side. Still 0-0. Quite scrappy in parts. Kettering had 2 good chances so far. One from O'Connor and a shot by Holman that went high and wide. So still a stalemate. Throw been taken, won by Richards. O'Connor's under pressure and blatantly pushed there. That was a terrible push by Fenton. Made no attempt whatsoever, just got his arms out and threw him down.
Yep. Again, easy decision for the referee, just a free kick, but sort of 15 yards inside the Coalville half, so an opportunity for our Towers to trot forward.
Yeah, he made no attempt to play the ball at all, just got his arms out and just hauled him to the ground, rather like the Monty Python sketch in Life of Brian, thrown to the floor. So it went there.
Yep.
But,
it was a bit like world wrestling, I have to say. But chance for Marcus Kelly to swing this one in on his left peg.
So Kelly then over the ball, in it comes towards Towers at the back post. So Towers gets there, comes in, it's the bar! Pushed onto the bar by the goalkeeper, and that goes away for a corner. Thought it was going to beat the keeper, got a good hand on it. It just leapt onto the bar, and this time, unlike the Everton derby a few months ago where it went in, it went over the bar and a corner to Kettering.
Yeah, Richard Walton's a lucky man there. He was off his line. Towers, I think, knew that. Looping header, but just got his hand to it.
Honer's corner comes in swinging. That comes a good punch there by Walton. It releases the number 8, but won by Holman. Gets the ball back to Kelly. Kelly having to do something with it quick. Gets it to Meikle. Meikle under pressure. Plays the ball back to Storer, who slips, but Storer pumps the ball forward. Headed out by Coalville. And flicked on to Mitchell, but Towers beats him. Still Towers with it. He slips. Said there's a foul, but he gives the ball away. And away now come Coalville here with McGlinchey. He's got plenty of space. There's Kelly Evans in front of him. Going to come outside. Plays it square toward the number 8, but he gives it straight away to Kelly. Kelly releases Meikle. Meikle with a bit of space. He's got Honus one side of him. He's got O'Connor in the middle. Trying to find Honus. Cut out by Coalville. And that chance has gone as Coalville advance into the Kettering half to... Doyle Charles being harassed by O'Connor, plays the ball back, and it's back with Fenton. He squares it to Doyle Charles. He pumps the ball forward, cut out by Meikle, finds Richards, back to Meikle. Good work from Meikle. He puts the ball towards Kelly. Kelly plays it back to Meikle. Meikle's in Kettering's half, but by the halfway line. Going to switch it over here for Kelly Evans. If he can keep this in, he'll do well. Kelly Evans can keep it in, but in doing so, gives the ball away to McGlinchey. And Coalville get the ball away for Mitchell to chase. He does. He finds Wright. And Towers are going to have to do something here, otherwise Mitchell's going to get there. A bit of 6-1 offer, doesn't he, there? And it turns out to be a throw-in by the corner flag to Kettering. Looked like that Towers is going to foul Fellini, and
could be given the other way. I saw Towers having his arm pulled, to be honest.
Better than his leg being pulled anyway.
Well, I suppose so, but like I say, 6 of them, half a dozen of the other, so Kettering will have to suffice with the throw-in.
Kelly Evans with it. It finds its way to Holman, and in comes Doyle. Kettering Town throw-in to be taken by Holman. And he leaves it for Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans with the ball to Holman. Holman under pressure from McGintley. And that ball from Storer there is just put out into the Coalville half. Go towards no Kettering player, and Callum Thomas is having to go down the line to collect it. 0-0 here at Latham Park. Only one of the game being played in the league tonight, and that's is Biggleswade Town against Leiston. Biggleswade slipped away in the last few weeks, but of course a couple of wins either way for the playoff positions can move around quite a lot.
Yeah, well, let's hope they don't find any form come Saturday week.
Yeah, one of the few sides to win here at Burton Latimer, that 3-2 win.
And Banbury, of course, on Saturday was another team, a rare team that beat us.
Yeah, 4-1 that was at Banbury, so we owe Banbury United a game. If you can get down on Saturday, please come and support the lads. It's a throw into Coalville, left-hand side. They're not happy with it. Either side aren't happy with the decision that's been made, but it's been taken by Thomas. Thomas gets the return, puts him with his right foot, headed out towards Kelly. Kelly gets the loose ball, being chased by Mitchell. Heavy ball that Stanley has to react to, and does so, trying to find Honus. Honus misses that. Fenton gets the ball. There's finds its way to Kelly Evans. He finds Storer. Storer pumps the ball forward. It's going to be a chase, but cut out by Fenton. Thomas wins it for Coalville. Towers tries to get it off him. He can't. And away comes McGlinchey. He finds Perry. Perry squares it to the number 8 there, who does a dramatic dive. He was caught, but he made a bit of a meal of it, did Andrew Wright. And it is a free kick. You're laughing at.
Quick free kick. Quick free kick. Ooh, that was a quick free kick. Nearly caught us asleep at the back there. Mitchell with the run on goal, that Paul White was alert if his defence wasn't, and gathered the ball up.
Well, from that kick, it's found Meikle, but he can't control it. And goes out for a throw-in. Rather unfortunately for Kettering. So rain coming down now, a little bit heavier. Surface will be a little bit more tacky. It's still 0-0. The game at Coalville was 2-2, a pulsating affair if I remember correctly. Kettering the goal down equalised, a goal down again, equalised again in the last minute. Last minute drama. We're used to quite a bit of that here at Latimer Park and on away journeys as White gets the ball through, trying to find Honus. It was a heavy bounce there, almost caught the goalkeeper unaware, but on this occasion Walton managed to deal with it, gets it back into play towards Perry, does well, that little flick from Perry, still Perry, loses the ball to Luke Wright, he squares it for McGlinchey, still with the ball, being challenged by Kelly Evans, but he wins that battle, gets it to Perry, Perry tries a shot, it comes in, and Mitchell almost got a little touch to deflect it by Paul White, but he didn't. Paul White hoofs the ball out, and it's cut out by Steve Towers. He heads it out for a throw-in. That could have been a free goal if that had gone in. Luckily, it didn't. Meikle to Kelly. Kelly with a bit of a pace on here. Still Kelly going through, tries a shot, and that has just gone over.
Burton bubble, that one, Paul. You can see it from here.
Yeah, Burton bubble.
Just as he pulled his foot back, it must have leapt a good 6 inches in the air. And, yeah, just over the bar by
about 20 foot.
20 foot, yeah.
So that ball would have cannoned off someone's car behind the Brian Martin Pallet's end. It's a goal kick. Richard Walton with it. Back into play. Richards underneath it with Perry. Perry wins that one, only to Richards. Richards pumps the ball forward, but out comes Walton. He misses that. And rather fortunately for him, it goes out for a goal kick. So Kettering really had the better chances, although Coalville have had 2 half chances.
Not been a lot in the half though, really. As not too much to talk about here, really. Not much to analyse. It's been a fairly placid affair, I think we can safely say.
Well, it is. Goal kick been taken, Richards underneath it. Doyle Charles wins it. Handball there, rather unfortunately for Meikle. It bounced up and hit the arm, but it has given it a quick free kick. Has got Callan Thomas underway. He finds McClinchy. He's running towards Storer, flicks the ball through to Mitchell. Mitchell plays it wide to Doyle Charles, intercepted by Kelly Evans, and that somehow finds Meikle. He plays it on to Callan Thomas, and that goes out for a Kettering thrown in their own half, midway. Throwing taken to Richards, back to Kelly Evans, trying to find Honus. It won't reach him, as Alex Dean wins the ball under pressure from Honus. Dean feeds it through, gives the ball away though to Kelly. Kelly now with a bit of space. He's just coming up the halfway line, flicks it over to Rhys Honus. Can he keep it in? He has, right on the line. Kettering streaming forward, but a touch too heavy and allows the Coalville player to put it out for a throw-in. And that has gone by the halfway line. And some nice colourful metaphors there coming out on my left-hand side. And that should be...
They are a bench of colourful metaphors, actually. They're like a double act, aren't they?
Yeah, it's more like...
There's Roy Chubby Brown and his brother, in terms of the language, I have to say.
Throw been taken by Coalville, headed back and put out by a Coalville defender for a Kettering throw on the halfway line. Richards gets the ball from Kelly from the throwing. Kelly pumps the ball forward towards Honus, but that's won easily by a Coalville player, but finds Honus. Honus plays it to Holman, intercepted by Fenton, and he releases Mitchell. Mitchell has got Towers with him. Still Mitchell with the ball. He's going to have to play it back. He has done. He's found it to McClinchy. McClinchy plays it square towards the number 3, Thomas. Callan Thomas. Is he going to try a shot? Plays it wide on the far side. Good ball from Callan Thomas. It comes in, cut out by Storer. Back to Callan Thomas, the centre of the park. He sprays it out wide to McClinchy. Good 1-2 there. Back to Thomas. He comes inside now. It's going to be tricky here as Thomas comes in, goes down. Penalty. And it's a penalty to Coalville. Towers bringing down Callan Thomas, a late tackle. And it's going to be the first opportunity of the evening to get the score line underway. And unfortunately for Kettering fans, it is Coalville who are going to get the first chance, as they did at their place. A foul by Towers on former Poppy Thomas, and resulting in this penalty taken by Mitchell. Paul White in the middle of his goal, sprays his hands up, steps at Mitchell, now fires in there, and Paul White went the right way, didn't get a hand to it. Coalville take the lead.
Good penalty, buried right in the bottom corner. I think Paul White could do about that, and no arguments about the penalty decision itself. It was Thomas who was bursting into the box, and he's a little bit quicker in a foot race than Declan Towers, who was coming in from the opposite angle, and unfortunately he collected the man rather than the ball. And yeah, as I say, it's been a quiet evening here at Latimer Park in terms of the football, but it's just been made a lot harder now for the Poppies. 1-0 down.
False start there by Kettering, and again Perry is advancing into Kettering's half before the referee allows the ball to be taken. Headed on by Meikle towards Holman. Fenton is there with the goalkeeper, comes out, and really against the run of play, the penalty, but you could see it was going to happen all the way when he got inside there. Any touch on Thomas, and that was going to be a penalty, and it was a penalty, but kick taken by the goalkeeper, goes high, comes off Meikle, and that should be a throw-in to Coalville. Of course, this game is a catch-up game for Kettering. 2 games in hand on Stourbridge. Callan Thomas with the throw-in, hasn't taken it yet, has done now towards Perry. He's missed it, and Doyle comes in like an express train to put it out for the Kettering throw-in. Kelly Evans goes over to take it, does so, finds Meikle, and it is a Coalville throw-in. There's a bit of argy-bargy here. Rather physical team are Coalville, supported by an interesting managerial team of Roy Chubby Brown and Dave Allen. Throw-in taken by Thomas.
I wish it was Dave Allen. I can just imagine one of them dressed as a priest now on the sideline.
Thrown to Kettering, Kelly Evans with it. Biddle hasn't taken it, as now, back to Meikle. Meikle skewers it to Towers, who pumps the ball forward for Holman to chase. There's Fenton with him. Holman gets there, only gives the ball away to Towers. O'Connor robs him, gets it back to Holman. Holman comes inside, he's being forced back. There's a little double shuffle, goes down, and a foul there by Doyle Charles on Holman in the centre of the park gives Kettering a chance to pump the ball into the penalty area as McGlinchey comes in quickly to stop the quick free kick. Kelly over the ball, so it'll be a left-footed free kick.
Looking for Towers again, probably on that back post. If it's a carbon copy, it's pretty similar position as the first free kick that Kelly put in for him. Well,
can Cowers redeem himself from giving the penalty away? We shall see in a few moments. Kelly delivers it in, it comes in, goalkeeper comes out easily, and it's straight in the goalkeeper's arms, no challenge whatsoever, and he catches that, goes down, as all goalkeepers do now, to sort of make sure that they can waste a few moments. Its score here at Latter Park is Kettering Town 0, Coalville Town 1. Goal coming from a Mitchell penalty. Ball high in the night sky, Towers underneath it, gets it through. O'Connor will be offside if this stays the way it is. He's now onside. Gets the ball back towards Mitchell. Back header towards Perry. Perry comes in, and that should have been 2-0. Paul White was exposed there. If Perry had got anything on target, that would have been 2-0, and that would have put a cat among the pigeons considerably.
Gilt-edged chance that was for Carl Perry. Mitchell battling hard to get a flick on, and yeah, he had time, a little bit more time, but he took it on the half volley. Left foot stab, and fortunately for Kettering, 3 yards over the bar, but yep, that was a let-off.
Similar sort of game as it was at Coalville. Coalville taking the few chances that they are given, and Kettering being punished for any mistake, and that was a mistake, but it's back with Richards. He puts the ball forward towards Honus. Honus, though, comes inside. Honus, one step. He's inside penalty area. It's given away. Goes down. Referee gives nothing. Richards comes in, gets it towards Kelly. Kelly loses it to Meikle. Meikle gets it back. Does well there, does Meikle. Goes one way, goes in. He's got 4 around him. He's got Kelly Evans overlapping. Here comes Kelly Evans. Now needs to be a good cross. Kelly Evans on the wing here. Comes inside. Doyle gets there first, though, and plays the ball rather tightly. That's gone out for a corner. Rather sloppily there from Coalville. And the Kettering fans behind the stand urging Kettering to go forward as Kelly strides over to take this corner. Let's hope we can beat the first man, get something in that area, get something on it, and have that net bulging.
Marcus Kelly on his left foot, so hopefully he can use his experience, decent one in.
The taken end comes at Meikle. He puts the ball low. It's cut out easily by Coalville. It's found Mitchell up front. He's on his own, though. He's got Kelly Evans with him. There's a bit of shirt pulling there by Mitchell on Kelly Evans. Nothing given by the referee. And away comes the number 7, who's then tripped by Holman. And
that'll be a yellow card, that will.
It could be a yellow card for Holman.
Yeah.
It is on Luke Shaw.
Clear yellow.
The referee going over to put Holman's name in the book. So penalty and a booking in Kettering's debit column so far.
Yeah, obvious decision for the referee to make, but Dan Holman obviously calculated. He didn't want Coalville running up the defence, so they'll have a free kick instead. 15 yards into the Puppies' half.
Doyle Charles with it, puts it in towards Perry. Perry wins the header, cleared by Stanley. Referee has given a foul, and Kettering get a free kick. O'Connor has to retrieve the ball from the Coalville half. Paul White going to take this. The penalty struck was rather similar to the one that it conceded at St Ives. Almost got to it, went the right way, but it was a well taken penalty by Mitchell, giving the Ravens a 1-0 lead. Paul White pumps the ball forward towards O'Connor. O'Connor can't win it. It finds Richards. Richards hits it heavy and hard in the area. It's cut out, put out. That should be a handball, nothing given. And Stanley off cue puts the ball high into the night sky. It's gone rather scrappy again as Kelly Evans gets underneath it. Can't find Holman. Fenton gets the ball towards McGlinchey. Comes to the top of his head. And that should be a throw into Kettering. Kelly Evans with it. Finds Storer. Storer can only put the ball out for a Coalville throw-in. And time marching on towards half-time. About 8 minutes to go before the referee looks at his assistant for time added on as the rain gets a bit heavy. It's a throw into Kettering. Kelly Evans with it in his own half, halfway in Kettering's half. Trying to find Holman. Holman under pressure, loses the ball. And Fenton hooks the ball forward towards Perry. Perry the man mounted, and he finds Richards. Richards stretches, trying to find Honus. Honus leaves the ball to Holman. Holman under pressure from the number 4, Towers, Steve Towers. He can hook it towards Kelly on the far side. Kelly comes inside, squares it towards Richards. Richards plays a long ball towards Meikle. He traps it. He's got 2 round him. Goes outside them in the centre of the park. Might try a long ranger. Puts it through towards Storer. Storer got plenty of space. Loses the ball to Meikle. Meikle feeds Honus. Honus inside the penalty area. Comes in. Back post. There's Holman. Punched out by the goalkeeper. And in comes Richards. Fires one in. Oh my word! 25 yard. It hits the bar. Comes in. And
Dan Holman, I think it was, who got the goal. It was O'Connor. It was O'Connor, sorry. You're right, called it well. But yeah, the ball was just pinging around in the box there. A wonderful effort from Michael Richards. Hit the underside of the bar, came back down. There was a scramble in the penalty box. And Kettering have found the equaliser.
Well, the shot from Richards was rather similar to the one he scored against Hitchin, actually. It was about that distance out, 25, 30 yards out. It cannoned off the bar. It took them all by surprise. There was a melee in there, and you'll be able to see that on our highlights. The goalkeeper is being booked for protesting about the outcome of that goal. So it's back to 1-1 here. They're getting a nice response from the Kettering fans who are offering some advice to the goalkeeper as he goes to collect the ball out there. I'm sure it's all good-natured.
Yeah, offering moral support, I think, Paul. I think, but yeah, he was well beaten by the pile driver from Michael Richards.
Just shows you how much they're going to miss O'Connor. He was alert. He was there in the right place. He's got his 10th league goal of the season, 11 in total, and another crucial goal from O'Connor. We've got that equaliser at Coalville earlier in the season. Ball underway. It's Perry with it. He finds Mitchell. Back to Perry. Storer hooks it clear. Cut out by Shaw. He finds Fenton. Fenton gets the ball to Storer. Turns. Loses the handball there. Missed by the referee. It's Doyle Charles with it. He finds Callan Thomas. Thomas advancing forward. Good 1-2 there to McGlinchey. Back to Thomas. Thomas outside the area. Might try a shot. Does. It comes in. And high and wide. And it's not going to go out. It's going to stay in as Kelly just rifles the ball towards O'Connor, who's been pushed in the back. And manages to get the ball, still being fouled by Shaw. And the referee eventually gives a free kick to Kettering after the assault on him by Luke Shaw. Free kick, quickly taken by Stanley to, I can't see that, the glasses are all steamed up, I think it is Kelly. Back to Kelly, he loses the ball though, hooked back, and there's only O'Connor there this time. Storer loses the header this time. Doyle with it, plays a long ball, Stanley cuts that out, and that should be a throw-in. It's cut out by Honus though, good work from him. Kelly hooks the ball forward, long high ball into the night sky. No one from Kettering there though. Away comes Callan Thomas. He puts the ball behind McClinchy. He's being marshalled by Kelly Evans. Away comes Fenton. Plays it towards Mitchell. Cut out by Kelly towards Holman. Holman can't do much here. He's got two around him. O'Connor's coming in towards Holman. Holman gets the ball through now. Can O'Connor get there? He might be able to. He's onside. Flicks the ball over, but out comes Walton on the far side. Gets the ball on the 6-yard box as Honus couldn't quite get there. 1-1.
Good response from Poppers since they did go behind in this game, and they're looking the most dangerous side now to go on and get a second. But it's been a close half overall. 1-1. If it does finish like this at half time, would be a fair result. It has to be said.
Well, in the two games against Coalville Town so far, Kettering have never been in the lead, so it'll be a first if Kettering do go
There's the
into
challenge.
the lead. Here's the challenge,
second half
isn't it?
challenge.
The challenge also to get 3 more valuable points is the carrot as well, as the ball is hooked out of play by Kelly. It'll be a throw-in. Rain coming down a bit heavier. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the gantry here braving it, and all grinning. I think it's a grin anyway. Quite sure.
Grimacing.
Grimacing, that's more like
That's
it.
it.
McClinchy though gets a loose ball, feeds it away. Callan Thomas has got a lot of space here to work with. Callan Thomas on this left hand side, going to go outside of Kelly Evans, comes inside, puts in a wide ball, and that goes wide of Paul White and goes out of play easily for a goal kick. 1-1 here at Latimer Park. Coalville taking an early lead, but a good reaction goal from Aaron O'Connor after a fantastic strike from Michael Richards, canning in off the bar. It's brought the scores level, just what the Kettering faithful want. Well, they want another goal actually to go go ahead.
I was going to say they won't be satisfied with a 1-1.
They won't. Paul White then having to wait for the referee to allow play to continue. Gets it underway towards Meikle. He gets the ball off Doyle for a Kettering throw-in. It's Kelly with it. Back to Meikle. Meikle back to Kelly. Rather tight on the byline there on the far side. He passed the ball back to Stanley. Stanley pumps the ball forward. O'Connor under pressure there. He got kicked in the head, but nothing given by the referee. It's with Meikle. He squares the ball over to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans now, he can keep this in, he'll do well. He has. He's got a bit of space to work with. Comes outside, goes inside, turns in well, puts the ball in rather heavily though. And it is cut out by a Coalville defender towards Mitchell. That's cut out by Richards, but he loses out again though. And Coalville now 3-on-2. It is Luke Shaw, but he's poor ball finds Towers. Towers to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans on the halfway line. Pumps the ball forward for Holman. Fenton is there, and Holman is adjudged to a foul. Fenton with the linesman flagging like the last train to Dover, and if there's such a thing, and Holman not happy with that decision.
Last train to Dover.
I think any other place at the time. Sung by Eartha Kitt, wasn't it?
I've heard of Last Train to London by the ELO, but never Last Train to Dover.
Richard Walton with this free kick towards Perry. He's beaten to it by Stanley, but Stanley's header goes to McClinchy. He has got two round him. Storer gets a foot in. Kelly Evans clears towards O'Connor. O'Connor been pushed all the time. Referee hasn't given anything. The ball back with Towers. He plays it back to Paul White. Paul White just hooks the ball, the 4-iron, towards Holman, who wins the header. It's won by Fenton. Doyle wins that back. It's gone a bit scrappy. O'Connor gets the ball towards Kelly, who gives it straight away. And the ball is played back to goalkeeper Walton, who has a Toblerone foot and it goes spoons out for a corner. Never seen that before. That was a beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
off
was
the outside of the foot, spoons off for a corner. Marvellous.
That was some angle he found. And yeah, Kettering have got a last chance because I can see the board getting ready down here for the extra time to be added any moment now. But
wouldn't it be great to get a goal from that mistake from the goalkeeper?
Yep.
Horrendous clearance, wasn't it?
He'll be feeling very pleased with himself if we do. 1 minute. 1 minute. No, 2. 2 minutes extra.
Oh, can Kettering go in with a nice warm glow to their first half performance with a goal from this free kick, from this corner kick. Honus with it. In it comes towards the back post. There's Stanley, goalkeeper missed it. There's a bit of a confusion there, and the referee is saying it's a goal kick. Richard's not happy with that, said it's a corner. Of course, the VAR behind the Brian Martin stand disagree with the referee.
Walton is a lucky keeper, though. He was nowhere on that corner.
No, flapping around with a cauldron he could have been, couldn't he? We still wouldn't have caught it, but there we go. It
got a let off there.
Remains 1-1. This might be the last kick of the first half.
No, I've got another minute yet.
Another minute, is there?
Yep.
Take your word for it. Walton underway, then Towers underneath it, wins that. It's forward here, and O'Connor offside. The flag goes up, and he was offside as Richards tries a long ranger, and it was Holman, was it? Now Holman will be careful here. He's already been booked.
Exactly.
And he then
kicking the ball away. After the referee had blown the whistle, that was very stupid from Dan Holman. Some referees would have gone for another card straight away at that point. And
losing Holman as well would be critical for Kettering, with O'Connor already suspended for 3 games after tonight. And if Holman had gone there as well, which is a possibility, very, very silly. But again, Kettering got away with that one. Goalkeeper taking his time to place the ball, which he is doing. Free kick underway. Referee raised arms as Towers underneath it, and Stanley clears the ball. He has to just pump the ball out for a throw on the far side as the drizzle gets heavier. We're getting nice and wet up here. Lovely. This is more like it, though, isn't it, for March? Not that sunny February we had. What a disgrace that was. Out in the shirt sleeves and shorts in February. Huh. Much prefer being up here frozen cold in the rain, don't you?
No. Half time.
Well, there we go then. There's the half-time whistle. Just been blown even. And it is 1-1 here at Latimer Park. It was Coalville, the Ravens, that took the lead through a penalty by Mitchell. Paul White almost getting a hand to it. But they went 1-0 ahead. Kettering equalising after a fantastic strike from Michael Richards, cannoned off the bar. There was a melee in the area, and there was the evergreen talisman that is Aaron O'Connor, showing us why he's such a good striker, reaping the benefit from the confusion caused by the shot to equalise for the Poppies. The players leaving the pitch for half-time. We're going to take a 10-15 minute break, and we'll be back with you in the second half. So for now, it is goodbye. We'll see you in a little while. Welcome back to Latimer Park. Well, the big talking point at half-time is actually who scored the Kettering Town goal. Was it Aaron O'Connor or was it Dan Holman? And and Dan Holman has been announced as the goal scorer. So we have to apologise for that in that melee. Everybody got it wrong, but it was Dan Holman who scored the goal. Aaron O'Connor has just collapsed as well, he's not come out actually, so no one's told him. Refused to come out as that goal's been struck off. So Aaron O'Connor not yet to come out. He's probably slashed his wrists as he hasn't been given that goal. So there we are. Oh, we're still waiting for him. Officials aren't come out yet. Rain a little heavier. Gary Fullman back with us after his cup of tea, or his nips off for a cup of tea at half time and a scone. Not like the rest of us, a glass of water and bread. But, bread and here's Aaron O'Connor. They're just going to tell him that he didn't score that goal. See what reaction we get here. But Kettering will be kicking from right to left. They're kicking towards the tin hat. Their preferred position as the rain now is beginning to make a bit of an impact on the surface at Latimer Park. If it was heavy rain, we would definitely have some puddles. And Honus over the ball. And away we go. Honus back to Richards. 1-1 here from the first half. Long ball given straight away to Callan Thomas. He finds McGinley on the far side now, being chased by O'Connor. Gives it to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans puts the ball out for a throw-in, much to the disgust of the fans on the far side. A few yards being pinched there. No substitutions have been made at half-time, so it's as you were. Doyle Charles, plenty of space here. Gets rid of Carl Perry, flicks it on, headed on by Towers. Back to Perry. Good work there from Stanley. Stanley gets the ball, who's fouled in the back though after that by Perry. Away goes Meikle. Meikle to O'Connor, and Meikle gets the ball, and apparently the ball's gone out of play, or
free kick.
It's a free kick, in fact, isn't it? Meikle not happy with that. He's being challenged, and the referee never said anything about the foul on Stanley. So your comments in the first half of good standard of refereeing is going down a little bit.
Well, some minor decisions at the moment, Paul. The big decisions I think the referees got right today.
Yeah, the penalty, it was a penalty. Marcus Law walking around the other side this time. No banana in his hand this time.
What? You have got no bananas? Free
kick comes in, Perry misses it, Stanley doesn't, he gets there. Holman can't get there, Fenton can. Doyle Charles is in a battle with Holman. Holman wins it. It's being fouled all the time by Charles Doyle Charles.
Doyle Charles.
Doyle Charles.
To give him his proper name.
Yep. Paul White's going to take this. Perry pushing Paul White.
Very distinctive with his Gareth Bale sort of ponytail, isn't he, Doyle Charles?
I was going to say, I thought about Perry, very sort of distinguished with his stomach, but
he's a large lad.
He is a large lad.
He's a unit.
So Paul White taking this free kick towards O'Connor. O'Connor's got Fenton behind him. He finds Meikle. Meikle takes out one, takes out two, loses the ball. Got it back, turns, slips, fouled, and the referee this time gives a foul, and Doyle Charles has, I think, talked himself into the book.
No, I think it's his final warning.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
He's getting the captain over, that's always a final warning.
I don't really see the point of having a captain over. If you're making a decision, surely that's enough. But Perry's in there giving his 10 penalties as well.
Yeah, warning about the accumulation.
It will be a free kick to the Poppers midway in the Coalville half, on just off centre of the park. Honus is over it now. Perry standing perilously close to the ball, saying it should be moved a foot over there. Perry wants to get out the way. He's a large man, to say the least, but even that's not 10 yards. So Anyway, getting back to the game, it is Honus. Flicks one in, headed out by Fenton. Perry gets the return, comes off Honus. Perry again has it, and that will be a foul to Coalville, although I did think that Perry was going for that all the way. The size of the two is quite incredible. You can see that Perry was going for it, showing all his expertise I won't say the word, but
if that turned into a fight, then there's only going to be one winner, and it's not called Rhys Honus.
It isn't, but it's going to be Walton that's going to take the the free kick being taken from the wrong place by about 10-15 yards. It should be in the corner, but it isn't. A referee allows it to be taken. It's aimed towards Perry, beaten to it by Stanley. He's got it back to Doyle Charles on the far side. There's Callan Thomas. Ball going to come in. Kelly's over there with it. Should have been offside, nothing given. It's Coalville still with the advantage, going down the wing here. Good work from Coalville. Comes in here. Could be a shot. This could be trouble for Kettering. Mistimes it. And Mitchell puts one in. And that shot from about 10 yards. Paul White catches quite easily, comes rushing out. And a chance there in the second half for Coalville. Mitchell standing in front of Paul White to try and distract him rather stupidly. Paul White gets the ball out towards O'Connor, but he's beaten to it. Meikle isn't though. Pushed in the back, Meikle, being attacked there by two of them. Gets the ball off a Coalville player. That should be a Kettering Town throw-in, and is. Kelly Evans by the halfway line. It's taking it quickly towards Meikle. Back to Kelly Evans. Pump forward towards Holman. He can't get there. Fenton can. A lot of space here for Fenton to move. Still Fenton. Gets it to Luke Shaw. He finds Wright. Back with Wright. Comes in towards Perry, and a poor ball really. Paul White allows that to run out of play for a goal kick. 1-1 here at Latimer Park. Highlights of this game will be available later on in the week, and hopefully we'll get some footage of an interview later on tomorrow morning. I would have thought that would have probably been out. No, I'm getting the head shake. Pardon? Thursday, we're being told that highlights will be out Thursday. So there we are. But the ball back.
The technical man says Thursday.
Thursday. Storer trying to find O'Connor, but it's beaten by Fenton. He gets it to Craig Charles. Doyle Charles flicked onto Perry. Perry, good ball here towards Wright. He puts out McClinchy on the far side. He's got Kelly Evans in front of him. He goes one way, he goes the other. Comes inside the penalty area. Good work though from Kelly Evans. McClinchy falls over, and it's unfortunately gone out for a corner. Kelly Evans couldn't prevent that from going out, so it's going to be the first corner of the second half. Kettering were very susceptible to these at Coalville. Let's hope that disease has finished. But in it comes now, in swinging corner. Paul White comes out, punches the ball away. Kelly gets on the end of it, comes inside, beats this player well, and still Kelly running away with the ball, doing very well here. Kelly gets to Holman. Holman flicks the ball back onto Kelly. That should be won by Doyle. It is. And Alex Dean can't prevent that from going out. That's a Kettering Town throw-in. Gary Storer quickly taking it. Back to Storer. Storer back to Meikle. Meikle takes a touch on the halfway line. Plays it square towards Richards. Richards, though, has to play the ball back to Paul White. Paul White takes a trap. He's got Mitchell in front of him. Trying to get the ball through to Honus. It does reach Honus with a fortunate bounce, but now it finds Meikle. Meikle back to Honus. Honus has come inside the penalty area here. A chance here maybe for Kettering, and Honus goes down and got a corner out of it. So a chance here now for the Poppies with their first corner of the second half in the tin hat. Livens up the proceedings. It's going to be Marcus Kelly on the far side to take this. Plays it short towards Honus. Honus then loses the ball, and away break at Coalville. That was a poor set piece there from Kettering, giving Coalville the advantage and putting Kelly Evans under a lot of pressure. And from that is a throw-in right down by the corner flag, so from one end to the other, with a bit of misfortune of play from Kettering. And it is a throw-in to the Ravens, their first visit to Northamptonshire since 1946, in Kettering anyway. So a throw-in will be taken eventually. no substitutions from either side have been made.
You mean they've never been to Wiki Park?
Why would they?
Well, it's the #1 attraction.
In comes a shot, and it is straight at Paul White. It was an opportunist strike there. Opportunist strike, shall I say there. No danger for Paul White. But White then with the kick. Long kick from Paul White towards O'Connor. It finds Kelly, who can only head it towards O'Connor. That's headed out, and it finds Richens. Richens trying to find Kelly, but he's beaten to it. The ball back with Richens. Cannons off to Doyle Charles. Good work there from Wright, but in comes Meikle, but Wright retrains it. Away comes McClinchy. Still McClinchy. Feeds out Thomas on the far side. It comes in, and that's off Kelly Evans for a corner. Good work there from Coalville, putting Kettering under pressure. End-to-end stuff at the moment.
Yeah, the better of the second half, to be honest, Paul. This is another corner for them to test us again, but they've been really the ones that have looked the most dangerous so far.
Yeah, 10 or 11 Coalville fans in the Brian Martin stand trying to gee up their side as the in-swinging corner comes in. Paul White there as Towers at the back post and hooks the ball away. He's being fouled in the process, and good refereeing, and a free kick to the Poppies. Paul White having to go and collect the ball from the corner flag, and gives Marcus Law a chance to analyse what is going on. 1-1 here. A point is okay for Kettering. That'll give them 9 points clear of Stourbridge, but of course they're on a 7-game consecutive winning streak. It'd be great to make it 8, but we shall see on that. Plenty of time to go. As Perry tries to put Paul White off by standing on the penalty area. White gets the ball towards O'Connor's, being pushed in the back. Referee hasn't seen that. Richens sprays the ball. Alex Dean allows it to go out. That will be a throw-in to the Ravens.
One thing that the Poppies have shifted this half is Marcus Kelly has gone into the midfield position, and Gary Storr has dropped back into left-back position. It's not really translated to any different shape for Kettering, or indeed any different fortune so far, but we'll keep our eye on that.
Richens doing exceptionally well there. Patch through Kelly. Kelly goes one way. Unfortunately, gets it to Richens. Luckily, Richens trying to get through to Honus, but couldn't get the ball lofted enough. And away now, break Coalville, but intercepted by Meikle. Does very, very well. Gets Kelly Evans away. There's a board flickering down here as Honus plays the ball back to Meikle. He squares it to Storer. Storer advancing. He's got Kelly on the left-hand side. Storer plays it into Holman. Holman flicks it towards Kelly. Kelly will keep this in. He's down by the corner flag. Puts the ball in. Good cross there. There's O'Connor. He misses O'Connor. And Holman, well, I won't say that's a shot, but he was certainly he was off balance and hit his foot and went about 30 or 40 yards. I think we called it Toblerone foot in the first half. It was something very similar.
But that was brighter from Kettering there. Marcus Kelly, I'll say, a bit more advanced position, did very well to get a cross in at all, and it was a very good cross that asked some questions of the Coalville defence. So that's the first evidence of him being in a more advanced role this evening. And Gastora dropping back to the left back position. But yep. There might be a change being primed for Kettering. The board is busy with Malk getting it ready, but no evidence yet of who it might be coming on.
And Stanley is adjudged to have fouled Kyle Perry, who then makes a meal of it. A strange free kick was taken by Craig Doyle, who was trying to take it while there was a tanglement with Kelly, and then trying to get Kelly booked. And the whole scenario is rather silly, really. Yeah, referee having a word with Kelly, who's astounded by what's going on. A man of my profession, I shouldn't be dealing with that, but it's taken now. Ball back, a slip by the Coalville player, but somehow it gets to the Coalville player. Back to Doyle Charles, intercepted by Meikle. Stanley is allowing Paul White to come and clear it. He couldn't pick it up. It would have been deemed a back pass, and then helped on its way for a throw-in by Kelly. Alex Dean with it. A roar from Doyle Charles amounts to nothing. Rather like the MGM Lion, it was, the roar. Richards intercepts, pumps it forward towards Holman, beaten to it. Coalville getting the ball forward again. The ricochets all going their way at the moment. Rubber the green, I think they called it, is going Coalville's way, intercepted by Richards, who pumps it forward for O'Connor. Luke Shaw underneath it. Alec Dean pumps it forward. Paul White on the edge of the area. Stanley has to play this, and it kept it in play, but gives the ball away and then wins it back. Good work there from Stanley. He finds Meikle in the centre of the park. Now Meikle got a bit of space to run at. A foot in though by Doyle Charles, gets it to McClinchy on the far side. Rather lucky for Kettering, that was. Intercepted though from Callan Thomas, and away goes Kelly Evans. He puts in Honus, but the touch isn't right, and McClinchy rifles the ball into the school at the back of Kettering. And
another good example there, Paul, that the Poppy's control and pass has not been the usual high standard tonight.
No, conditions aren't helping. That's same for both teams, but yes, it isn't the usual dominance that Kettering have been showing in recent games. So we have to wait to the 90th minute for that, don't we? But it's a good turn here by Holman. Holman now, he's got O'Connor in front of him, puts in O'Connor. O'Connor though, he can't get there. Goalkeeper falls down and the flag goes up, and there's a foul on the goalkeeper. O'Connor goes down, and he's still down. The lino, the Coalville officials down here going apoplectic at the challenge on the goalkeeper. He's on the pitch and should be off it, and giving the referee a good old mouthful in this strange West Midland accent. All right, but there we go. It is it is a free kick. Free kick to be taken by Richard Walton, the keeper. No changes made by either side. Kick taken. Storer underneath it, pumps it back forward, headed on by Meikle to Holman. Slipping is Meikle, and Doyle Charles gets the better of it. Flick through now. Perry's away here. Paul White comes out. This could be tricky. Paul White does exceptionally well. And a foul on Paul White as Perry tries to make out that he was the person that was fouled. So Paul White got a tap on the arm. Perry goes to shake hands. But definitely is a player. Definitely is a player, isn't he? This Luke Perry. He's been around, knows how to play the game. And Paul White did very well there. If he'd got a foot in and got lobbed over, anything could have happened. But a free kick to Kettering. Paul White gets it out towards O'Connor. Fenton pushing O'Connor in the back, gets it to Richards. Richards pumps it forward. There's Holman. Holman traps it with his knee, flicks it through to Kelly. Kelly though plays it wide. Fenton met to play this one out. He does, and that goes on to pitch 2. New ball required. Richard Lavery rushing out to get that. It's Storer with the throw in. He finds Meikle. Meikle having to turn backwards. Still Meikle plays it square towards Towers in his own half. Towers under pressure, pumps the ball forward. There's Storer, but number 7 gets the ball out. Richards retrieves it, pumps it forward, but Alex Dean manages this quite well. There's a hit and hope, and Paul White having to come out. He heads the ball. This could be dangerous here. Square ball there to Richards. Richards, long ball on the far side for Honus to chase, but there's Callan Thomas. Thomas wins the battle. Got plenty of space to run at now. Callan Thomas on the far side. 1-1 here at Latimer Park. It's building up into an exciting second half as Coalville come away with it. Flick the ball through to Mitchell. Mitchell finds Luke Shaw, robbed by Meikle. Then the ball's back with Coalville. Kettering can't get the hands on it. Well, not hands on the feet on it. And Mitchell gets the ball to Thomas, and there's a foul on Thomas, and Coalville get the better of the decision.
Yeah, they're full value for the draw at the moment, Coalville. No doubt about that. It's a very even game. You can see a winner or the next goal certainly coming at either end, and. I think Michael Richards has just had a little talking to as he retreats in the penalty box to defend this free kick.
Vital time for Kettering here to keep this at 1-1. Free kick on the far side. Good position. Got some tall players, have Coalville. Bit of argy-bargy, and the referee looking at it. In comes the free kick towards the back post, but harmlessly goes out for a goal kick. And we've just been given the attendance for tonight. Very chilly night here at Latham Park. There's 663 have come out to watch Kettering tonight, so that's pretty good for a Tuesday night. 1-1 here. We've got Banbury United here on Saturday. Let's hope it's a little bit warmer and more pleasant than tonight, but we are still in March. And, well, only just in March, actually, so... Paul White then with the goal kick. Comes in towards Holman, who's being held back, nothing given, and Luke Shaw almost decapitating Tom Cherry. Ball back under play here. Dean wins it, but only towards Kelly. Kelly wins it towards O'Connor. O'Connor flicks the ball through to Holman. Holman can't get there though. Callan Thomas can. A rather hash of there by Callan Thomas. Cleared by Fenton. He hooks it anywhere. He found Kelly Evans, who hooks the ball back in. There is O'Connor. O'Connor traps it with one way. O'Connor might try a shot. Does. Goal! Unbelievable! This time, Aaron O'Connor's shot. I thought the goal had gone in. It came off the post. Yes. Then comes in Kelly. It ricochets off Kelly, off the goalkeeper, into the net. Work that one out, Gary Foreman.
Well, the first goal was a bit of a jumbled affair. That was fairly similar, but it was clearly Aaron O'Connor with the shot at the edge of the penalty box on his right foot. Beat the goalkeeper, didn't beat the post, but it was Marcus Kelly playing in a more forward position this second half, and thankfully he managed to get his left foot to it. I thought the keeper had a chance to stop it from going over the line, but he didn't, and Kettering have taken the lead for the first time this season against Coalville.
That is true, and that's livened up the cold fans in the tin hat end there as a scramble of a goal. What a shot from O'Connor. I thought it was in the net. I'd crowd out the word goal. It came bouncing out again, and there was, this time it was Kelly following up. Goalkeeper did get a hand to it, but ended up in the net with the ball. 2-1 Poppies.
Okay, pause for breath. Here we go again.
Stanley having to shepherd this ball out as Mitchell is trying to get the ball in play. It finds Kelly. A back header from Kelly. That was Kelly's 9th league goal of the season. He finds Storer, plays it long. It is Luke Shaw. He's found McClinchy. He's weaving his way through. Perry's there. Back to McClinchy. Cleared by Towers. Only find Doyle Charles. Doyle Charles in the midway in Kettering's half. Plays the ball to Callan Thomas. To McClinchy. McClinchy's got the ball now. He's got Kelly Evans watching him. Robbed by Kelly Evans. Referee says the ball went out. And a bit of pushing and shoving going on here. Throwing taken quickly. There's Mitchell in the penalty area here. He's got Towers with him. It comes off Towers. And that will be a corner to the Ravens. 2-1 here at Latimer Park. If you've just joined us, Kettering just taken the lead. And that was Marcus Kelly who's put Marcus Law's side in front, scoring his 9th league goal of the season. And there's going to be a substitution to be made before this corner is to be taken. It's going to be Coalville making it. It is going to be Curtis Burrows coming on.
Luke Shaw off.
And Luke Shaw back to Manchester United. And he's coming off.
Yeah, just a trial game for him this evening. He's not really impressed me, to be honest. I thought he'd be better than that.
Yeah, a man of his pedigree, you'd have thought would have done a little bit better. But there we are. I'm sure Ole Gunnar will look at that performance. But it's Burrows coming on for the Ravens, running into the penalty area. Towers telling Marcus Coaster to watch the player coming in, which he's doing now. There'll be another in-swinger. Wind in Coalville's favour in this second half. In it comes. It's low. Headed out by Kelly Evans, and then Kelly, unfortunately, goes back to the corner taker who's got inside the penalty area. Comes in blocked off Kelly Evans, and a repeat of the corner will be taken. Same corner taker, McClinchy. Another in-swinger this time. The Kettering need to be alert, concentrate. Here it comes in. Paul White's there. It goes high. There's a foul on, I think it's Stanley who's gone down. In fact, it's Towers that's gone down, and also there's a Kettering player down in front of Paul White. And he's got up, and that was little Kelly Evans who took a shove in the back.
Yes, in the land of giants defending there, Kelly Evans. You know he's got a good spring on him, but he was in the wars on that one, but he's on his feet. Kettering have a free kick, which Paul White will take.
Well, I'm not sure why Paul White's gone there with the ball.
No, he seems to be taking as many yards as he can, but it must have been in the penalty area, surely.
Well, yeah, but the referee's allowed that to go. It goes to O'Connor. O'Connor flicks it on, but put out by Callan Thomas. Throw in to Kettering. The Coalville officials not happy with the event. Alex Dean powers it forward towards Towers. He gets the ball back to Richards over his head. Callan Thomas back in it. He's been quite a handful, Callan Thomas. There's Kyle Perry. Beaten to it, though, by Meikle. Meikle back to Kelly Evans. He pumps the ball forward towards O'Connor. It comes off O'Connor to Meikle. Meikle to O'Connor, but intercepted by a Coalville player. Paul White comes out. He's going to allow this to be shepherded out and pushed by Mitchell. Paul White will have a few words there, I would think, in his Irish brogue to Mitchell. 2-1 here then. Kettering, that at the moment puts Kettering 11 points clear of Stourbridge. They won't be liking that over in the Midlands.
They will not like that at all.
They won't. But we don't care about them. We only care about Kettering Town. And Paul White taking this goal kick towards Holman, who has been credited with the first goal, not Aaron O'Connor, if you've just joined us. Kelly Evans puts the ball forward towards O'Connor, who is onside. It hits the back of his leg, though. And Fenton manages to intercept and clear it. Coming forward, he plays it square here for Alex Dean. Dean got a bit of room to run at. He flicks it through to the substitute. Burrows gets his first touch. Robbed by Meikle. There's Perry, though. The big lump that he is. He gets it to Doyle Charles, to Thomas. Puts a high ball in. There's Perry. Perry gets the header onto it. Comes out here. Needs to get a touch in here quickly. Kettering do. They do. Might be a long-range shot. Comes in. It is. Straight into Paul White, who drops it. And it's cleared by Towers. It hit Paul White's chest. He couldn't really collect the ball. Bit of panic stations there in the Kettering 6-yard box. And that has been cleared for a corner. Again, Perry causing all sorts of trouble in that area, as he did at Coalville earlier in the season. But play will be stopped for a while as Alex Dean has gone down. Referee goes over. Just to let you know that on Saturday we've got Banbury United here, and if you are a collector of DVDs, we've got a new edition of the Kettering Town versus Charlton Athletic 1988-89 FA Cup 4th round game in its entirety for sale. £10 that is, and will be available from the club on Saturday. And once we get all the CDs in, I'm sure that we'll find other ways of getting it to people that live away from Kettering. So if you do want a copy, they will be available at £10 each. That classic game where Robbie Cook became the leading FA Cup goal scorer for the season. I think it was 11 goals he scored throughout, beating all the Division 1 players in those days. There was no Premiership then. And
the days we had 2 cookies.
We had 2 cookies. But there we are.
Alex Dean has shot his bolt as far as today's game's concerned. As he limps off, it's going to be the second substitution. Tim Berridge, number 14, is coming on, but not until the referee has had an opportunity to.
No referee looking at studs. He wasn't even looking, actually, was he, when he showed him still looking at the assistant manager. But there we are. When play does get back underway, it's going to be a throw-in in a dangerous place. It'll be a long throw-in to the visitors. Back to Doyle, and Storer allows that to go out, shielded that rather well, and that will be a goal kick to the Poppers. 2-1 ahead in this tense contest. So this is one of Kettering's games in hand over rivals Stourbridge, so any points are an advantage. 3 obviously is better than 1, but it's 3 at the moment. It looked like it's going to be none at first and then 1. There are no more connotations left that we can use.
Match abandoned.
Well, yes, match abandoned, but we don't want that. As Kelly gets the ball in, it's hooked back though by Coalville for Perry, but it will be a Kettering throw in the call of leave it from Marcus Law. And Sora taking the long walk to get the ball that's nestled into the wire fencing on the right-hand side.
He's certainly not in a rush, and every opportunity Kettering now will get, they will eke a few more seconds off the clock without incurring the referee's ire.
We hope to get some managerial comments after the game, so which will be on our highlights package later in the week. Kettering get the ball away towards O'Connor. Fenton wins it. Holman though gets it, chests it down well, gets it to Kelly. Kelly puts a wide ball. Fenton having to do something with this as two Kettering players come in. It's robbed by Honus, does well Honus. Gets it to O'Connor. O'Connor plays the ball back to Kelly. Kelly, a bit of time and space here, finds O'Connor. O'Connor goes wide. This is his last game before his suspension. Perry traps it with both stomachs but wins the ball. And foul there on Perry's second stomach by Richards. Gets a free kick to Coalville. Just inside their own half. He's trying to pinch a few yards there. The ball now in Kettering's off. It can't be there. So, and it's been taken in the wrong position once again. Referee allows it. Taken quickly. And here's Wright, the leading goal scorer. Gets it through to Thomas. In it comes the back post. There's Perry. Headed over, and Burrows allows that to go out for a corner. It came off Stanley. But the free kick taken in the wrong place by a good few yards there has resulted really in a corner kick for Coalville. Comes in. Towers heads out. Stora clears. Doesn't clear too far though. Meikle gets his head onto it. It's now out of the penalty area. It's back into Burrows, the substitute. He's got the other substitute with him. But it comes off Kelly Evans though for another corner. Those of you that went to Coalville will know how dangerous Coalville can be from set pieces. And they're getting quite a few attempts in this second half to prove that point.
Yeah, we're under the Coalville cosh at the moment with corners.
In it comes. It's a different variety. Paul White comes out, drops it, goes through his arms, but he's adjudged to have been fouled, and Paul White goes down. I think he's hurt here. The Kettering fans not happy at all with that. Not sure who actually felled him, but again, Perry is there once again, who's trying to look concerned, but it looks like Perry was the instigator of trying to injure or hurt Paul White. They've had a little bit of a snap, haven't they, throughout the game?
Yeah, they're a physical team. I mean, the cross came in, and the ball definitely went through Paul White's hands. But the reason why it did go through his hands is that there was contact from Perry, who's just explaining himself to Paul White. But
well, there's going to be a substitution made by Kettering. It's going to be Nathaniel Rowe-Turner.
Yep. Perry's getting booked, by the way, for his challenge on Paul White. So yellow card is out for Perry. Nathaniel Rowe-Turner is ready to come on. And it's Rhys Hurnis, number 11, who will be coming off for the Poppies once the referee allows the substitution to go through. Rhys Hurnis, no hurry to make an exit, as you would probably expect under the circumstances.
Yeah, another good performance, a good shift from Rhys Hurnis. Been very, very dangerous indeed. Never gives up, and shows what a class player is. He'll probably have to change his role with the O'Connor suspension to more like it was in the beginning of the season.
Could be one up front, Dan Holman behind in the number 10 role. Yep,
it could well be. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there on Saturday. This game has still got about 20 minutes or so to go. So far from over, one goal in it. I've just been told there's 13 minutes left. So my clock obviously has slowed down quite a bit. So Holman heads the ball on. Dean pumps it forward. Turner gets his first touch, gets it to Doyle though. Turner and Stanley in each other's way here. Stanley gets the better of it, gets it to Kelly. Kelly turns, loses the ball though. And away comes Berridge. Plays its long ball there for McClinchy on the far side. McClinchy does a pirouette. He beats Kelly Evans, plays the ball back to Callum Thomas. Callum Thomas puts one in towards Mitchell. There's Towers. The ball goes anywhere but where anyone's looking, and finally cleared by Meikle. But back into the mix it comes to Coalville. It's back with Mitchell. And it's going to be a Coalville throwing a bit loose play there from Kettering. Coalville, though, still got their tails up. They're still going for the goal to equalise. Don't remember, they're only 3 points away from being in 5th place themselves, so it's all to play for Coalville Town. And they want to get into that playoffs. Hooked out, though, by Towers for a throw-in.
With a toe around.
Rather unconvincingly by Towers this time. And this time he's from the throw-in, he gets the header in. It only goes to Luke Shaw. Richards plays some head tennis with Kelly. Holman gets the ball but gives it straight away to Callum Thomas. He finds McClinchy. McClinchy on the byline, feeds through Callum Thomas, who's carried on the run, back to McClinchy. And Kelly Evans allows this ball to roll on and on and on as it goes out for a corner. Corner, I've been a throw-in. Gary Graham has given the attendance out that we gave you earlier of 663. Very good for a bitter Tuesday night. And it looks like the Kettering Angel is stripping off. And are we going to get another dramatic finish from Brett Solkin, who's already scored a couple this season? No more so than that goal against Rush Hall Olympic in the dying embers of the game. But it is Coalville on the attack. It's Perry with it in the centre of the park. He hit Richards in the face there. Nothing given. Mitchell gets the ball, plays it out wide to Berridge. Berridge turns, tries in, a shot comes in and scores a long-range 25-30 yarder. He was acres of space there, and it veers away from Paul White and scores a level.
Shot out of nothing from Tom Burridge on his left foot. As you say, he must have been a good 23-24 yards out, and the ball just skipped on the surface and beat Paul White down to his left-hand side. He'll be disappointed, I think, that he didn't keep that one out, but you know, it was a shot on target, and yeah, Coalville overall, you'd have to say probably on balance of play, they're worth a point this evening, but yeah, just when you thought Kettering were getting into shutout mode, yep, they've let one in, and they've got to go again now.
So Richards gets it from the kickoff, pumps it forward towards Holman. Holman beaten to it. Storer coming in, but is beaten to it by Luke Shaw, who loses the ball straight away to Meikle. Meikle squares it to Roe Turner, who can't keep the ball in play. He's got the ball back and gets it through towards Meikle to Holman, but good work there from Doyle. There comes Mitchell and Paul White right out the penalty area, rolls the ball out to Stanley to Storer on the halfway line. Storer gives it straight away, but Stanley carries on here, plays it out wide towards Kelly. Kelly with a bit of space, goes one way, goes the other, plays it towards Holman, cleared by Luke Shaw, owned towards Stanley again though. He gets it to Roe Turner on this left hand side. Roe Turner back to Marcus Kelly. Kelly plays it back to Roe Turner. Turner squares it to Meikle. Poor though from Meikle, and Towers are going to have to head this ball away or clear it before Mitchell gets onto it. He does. Somehow finds Storer, who finds O'Connor. A 1-2 here. Now Storer, is he away? He's under pressure, loses the ball to Fenton, and then it is cleared by Luke Shaw, but it's back with O'Connor. O'Connor loses out though to Towers, and then O'Connor gets the ball back, comes in again. Goalkeeper down in the 6-yard box. Good strike from O'Connor. Thought the ball might come out the arms, but the goalkeeper, Richard Walton, hangs on to it, and the score remains 2-2. Kettering substitutes warming up. Roe Turner gets the ball from the goal kick. Squares it to Richards. Richards to Meikle. Meikle turns. Meikle. He's got overlapping Roe Turner. It comes through. Meikle still goes on. He does well here. Still got Roe Turner. Roe Turner's in the way this time though. In comes Meikle. Comes in here. There's Holman. Holman shoots. Taken away from him. There's O'Connor. He shoots. Comes in. It comes off the line. and Kettering can't get the ball in, and then on the outstretch there, O'Connor floors the number 7 there, Shaw, who goes, sorry, 3, Thomas, who goes down like he's been hit with a sniper, and Kettering now are going to make their substitution, and indeed it's Kettering's own angel, Brett Solkin, coming on, replacing Gary Storer.
Good response again from Kettering since they conceded the goal, putting some pressure on that Coalville defence, and that was another good chance to get the winner. But to be fair to the keeper, he made a couple of good saves in that spell and kept his team level.
Well, goalkeeper told to go back to where it was taken from, and he's gone back about 3 inches. Referee says that's all right. So Walton then with this free kick pumps it forward towards Perry. Won by Roe Turner. It finds Solkin. Solkin heads towards Kelly. Kelly wins that towards Holman. But Perry wins it back. Nicked by Roe Turner. Roe Turner is being tackled by Berridge. Still has the ball. Flicks it through to Kelly, who's fouled. Nothing given. The goalkeeper has to come out and clear the ball. Marcus Law not happy at all with the referee on the foul on Kelly, who's on his haunches at the moment. Good turn there from Richards. Richards puts it to Holman, who's asleep, and Richards gets the ball back. He puts a poor ball also for Meikle, who then puts it out. A poor passage of play there from Kettering. Can't get their foot in control of it and giving the ball away. Throw in on the far side. Yeah,
another example of Kettering's passing this evening not being as crisp and accurate as it normally has been this season. Yes, the surface isn't helping, but it's been worse up here, to be honest. But you know, they've impressed me again in the last 5 minutes or so with their endeavours to go on, push on again to get the winner. They're not certainly settling back for a draw.
No, and it's rather like the game at Coalville. That ended up 2-2 as well. Kettering this time they've been ahead twice in the game. And once in the game, a pump forward here. Goalkeeper having to come out as O'Connor comes out. Goalkeeper heads it towards Thomas, who gets the ball away rather fortunately. But there's Richards, gets it back for Kettering. Squares it to Roe Turner. Now Roe Turner's got a bit of space to work for. He finds Kelly. Marcus Kelly fits the ball forward, but Turner hasn't really carried on and has allowed Berridge to get the ball. He clears it, but he only clears it towards Kelly. Puts the poor ball in though from Kelly, and Doyle Charles hooks the ball away from the penalty area. Throw into Kettering by Roe Turner. Roe Turner to Holman. He's robbed, and the ball put into orbit by Coalville player Perry, and Stanley with it. Perry, the big frame, gets there first though. Falls down like a sack of potatoes, and you should be yellow carded for that. It was an absolute embarrassment, that was. If you're a football fan, looked like a lump of lard falling down. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Richards puts the ball forward towards Holman. Holman can't get there. Richards can, so can Roe Turner. Roe Turner with the ball. Still Roe Turner goes one way, goes the other. Sprinting down the wing here, Roe Turner, nosebleed time. But unfortunately it's blocked, and away come Coalville once again. Good ball here. Wright can't get there. Kelly Evans can, he pumps it forward. O'Connor will be offside if he gets there. He doesn't get there. Ball finds itself at Meikle's feet. Meikle beaten to it though. Kettering can't get the ball in the right area. The ball won by Kelly Evans. Back to Meikle on the far side. Meikle looks up, puts the ball in. It comes off a Coalville player, and that should go for a corner, and it does. Crowd responding as much as they can in that tin hat end. Tempo once again in Kettering's favour. Can the Kettering Angel, can he do something once again? Who knows? Kelly with it. This will be another in-swinger. Comes in high here, headed out, and it's back with Kelly, who's had to come a long, long way to collect the ball. It's halfway inside their own half. In it comes now, long, high. There's O'Connor, there's Kelly Evans, there's Stanley towards O'Connor. O'Connor, handball, and that will be a free kick. Don't know what O'Connor was trying to do there, but trying to chest it, I think, and it hit his arm.
Trying to control it. The ball bouncing high, though, and definitely caught his arm. But yeah, the place is livened up again, the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, Coalville slowing this game down. Point good enough for Kettering. And the goalkeeper taking a liberty here. Surely it's not there. And this time And the goalkeeper has been booked in the first half. He's only pinched 10 yards to try and cheat out that one. Poor stuff from Coalville, really. You've got the lump of lard falling over, then you've got the goalkeeper trying to cheat his way through
try all
yardage.
the tricks, Paul.
Pardon?
I say they try all the tricks.
They are, but there is Perry, wins the header. Still a good player, though. Kelly Evans pumps the ball forward. There's O'Connor against 3 or 4 of them. It's O'Connor on his own, though. Nobody with him. As Luke Shaw wins it. O'Connor's still there. Pays the ball through to Kelly. Kelly's can't through. Oh, Kelly and Salkin get in each other's way. Both had a strike on target. They actually collided with each other. And the ball goes out harmlessly for a goal kick. And the referee now has got his yellow card out. And I think there's going to be another booking for Coalville. And it is Doyle Charles who goes into the book.
Yeah, too much lip. He's had enough warnings, but yeah, that was a shame. That was Brett Salkin there. Definite foul in the box. Unfortunately, it was Marcus Kelly that committed it.
That was the chance, really, wasn't it? If either of them could have got a foot on it and steered it in, that would have been another classic last-minute goal type of thing, but not to be. Perry has the ball on. It comes off his head straight into Paul White's arms. Getting rather chilly up here now. Not long to go in this game. Kettering fans singing a missed kick there by the Coalville player, but it finds Callum Thomas, hooked on by McClinchy. He trying to find Mitchell, but Mitchell can only allow the ball to go to Paul White. He bowls the ball out to Towers. Towers, long ball towards Holman and Salkin. Salkin didn't get there. Richards didn't get there either. Towers did. He knees it towards Kelly or Meikle. Loses the ball though. O'Connor is then fouled. And this could be another booking. And he was fouled late on there. He got the ball. It is Andrew Wright. No, he's just a word by the referee. And Coalville about to make their
4 minutes added time to go here, and Coalville looking to make their third sub on Matoya. Number 15 is stripped and ready to come on. I presume they're going to make the substitution before Kettering can take their free kick. As Paul Cook heads downstairs to the studio to get ready for the after-match entertainment for you. But no, it's going to be the free kick, I think, to go ahead. And it is. Marcus Kelly swings it in on his left foot into the penalty area. Headed away by Doyle Charles and helped on its way by McGlinchey. Berridge trying to make himself a nuisance, but Towers does well. Wins the ball and then gives a free kick away, unfortunately, against Perry on the halfway line. And this could be... This could be a yellow card for, well, it was Declan Towers. That was Declan Towers that made the foul, and Marcus Kelly's going to get booked for it. We think it might be actually kicking the ball away, perhaps, but Marcus Kelly's gone into the book, and Coalville will make their third and final substitution. Matoya is coming on, and it's Cairo Mitchell, number 10, who's been a bit of a handful this evening for the Kettering defence. And to be fair, he has got a little bit of a limp on him as he gets to the touchline, slowly but surely. So there'll be about three and a half minutes to go. Craig Stanley has been named as the Kettering Town man of the match this evening, which should tell you a little bit about the performance this evening. Not quite the usual creativity going forward for Kettering, but if it ends up 2-2, that'll be another point in the bank. But Coalville first of all have the free kick, which is launched forward from the halfway line. Headed away from Michael Richards, but that's heading towards the corner flag. And Matoya managed to keep it in play. Does well, back heels it back to Berridge, looking to get the cross in. Being shepherded away by Marcus Kelly into this corner. Roturner gets his foot in. And then silly challenge from Roturner diving in. And that will be another yellow card for Kettering. Plenty of rollovers from the Coalville player. I can't quite see who it is who's down. It's Berridge. But clear free kick. And this is a dangerous position for Coalville. 3 or 4 yards out of the penalty area on this near side, the camera side. And it's going to be Andrew Wright who's going to swing in the cross. Kettering need to be on their guard. Here we go. Free kick comes into the penalty spot. And Perry has scored for Coalville. Kyle Perry with the header on the free kick. You give him half a yard from that kind of area and he is deadly. He's a big unit of all we've already said this evening. But that's a late blow. Kettering Town have been used to scoring late goals this season, but I'm afraid they've conceded one. And Kyle Perry has made it 3-2 to Coalville. And there must only be a couple of minutes left of the allocated 4. We're back underway and Kettering needs something very quickly. The ball goes forward, away by Callan Thomas, helped on by McGlinchey. Towers with his head on it, but it only breaks to Coalville again. Taking the ball on the far side towards the corner flag, McGlinchey. And that's it. That's how late that goal was. Kettering Town have suffered a home reverse this evening. They haven't been at the best, to be fair. A fair result would probably have been the 2-2 scoreline, which it was going into the extra time. And then we've had another extra time goal here at Latimer Park, but this time it has gone against the Poppies. And that's the one of the 2 games in hand gone. Kettering Town will remain at the top. They will remain 8 points clear of Stourbridge with 1 game in hand. That game in hand now is on the Saturday against Banbury, and they'll be looking to bounce back, obviously, from this late reverse this evening. Final score here at Latimer Park is Kettering Town 2, Coalville 3.
Well, it wasn't to be, was it, Kettering? This time denied by a late goal by Kyle Perry. Once again proven to be a thorn in Kettering's side with the winning goal on 93 minutes. Kettering went to 1-0 down through a penalty, got back to 2-1 ahead, and then 2 goals in the latter stages of this game. In a very competitive game, has seen Kettering lose the game 3-2. And one of the catch-up games, one of the games behind Stourbridge have gone. Kettering still are 8 points clear with a game in hand, and that game in hand is against Banbury United on Saturday. I was hoping to get Marcus Law to come in and have a word with us. I'm not so sure he'll be in as quickly now as he probably would have been at 2-2. It seems every time I come down the ladder, I miss the winning goal. And once again, I've missed the winning goal. This time, though, unfortunately, it goes to the visitors in another exciting game. The game at Coalville was a real pulsating game. This wasn't so pulsating. Conditions didn't really allow for that. But defensive frailties, again, for Kettering, have really been the exponent of this defeat at home. A long-range shot from Tim Berridge, who wasn't closed down, and Kyle Perry there at the death, getting the goal from a corner at the end. So he did both of those sort of things at Coalville. and Kettering lose this game. Man of the match was Craig Stanley, another exceptional game from him, but all that pales into insignificance with a defeat, one I'm sure that 10 minutes or so ago Kettering weren't really expecting to actually suffer, but their away form is far superior to the home form. But again, still 8 points clear. It's not doom and gloom. Marcus Lord said to me on Saturday there might be some slip-ups, but we do have games to come in between time, so not all bad here for Kettering Town. So they're back here against Banbury United on Saturday, and of course Banbury inflicted a 4-1 defeat on Kettering early in the season, and that was one of Kettering's poorest displays of the season. With me is Richard Atkinson, who's been up there. And Richard, I didn't see the final goal. I was down here. Can you just talk us through it?
Yeah, it was Nathaniel Rose-Turner lost the ball down in the corner here and made a really silly tackle. Brought the player down, gave away the free kick on the corner of the box, and then it was just a really good delivery in and nodded home. Unfortunately, you know, Kettering getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine there with a very late goal. We've had an awful lot scored for us, and that one unfortunately went against us. It was Kyle Perry that nodded it home. Again, it came from an individual mistake from making a tackle that he really shouldn't have done. It was a yellow card. It might have been even more if he'd have, you know.
Carl Perry, though, really, I mean, I know he's a decent player, but some of his antics out there this evening didn't really belie a player of his stature. I mean, he went down like a lump of lard at one point. He fouled the goalkeeper. You know, he's a good. He
caused a lot of trouble. You know, he's a big player, and that's, you know, that they cause trouble. You know, it's what the sort of thing that Adam Cunnington does, gets in the mix there, and you know, big lad, and causes trouble for defenders and goalkeepers. You know, that's how those guys play. Obviously, he did that tonight, and it's not a good one for Kettering. But we're still, you know, 8 points clear and a game in hand. So we have to go on to Saturday and make sure that we get back on track. Obviously, Banbury will be another difficult game for us, having lost away. It
wasn't vintage Kettering by any means. Do you think playing with 10 men for so long on Saturday came into the equation at all? I
don't think so. They just seem to. John Dunham said they got cement in their boots tonight. It seemed to bounce off their foot all the time. They didn't seem to have that occasion. Lyndon Meikle was a bit sort of, you know, lost out there. I thought tonight he, you know, didn't really make much of an impression on the game. Maybe he was playing a little bit deep. Obviously, because Adam is out injured still, you know, that option wasn't there to sort of change things up as we've had before. We've got Aaron who's going to be out from Saturday for 3 games, so it'll be interesting to see where we go from there, really.
Well, it will indeed. We'll try and go on as long as we can before we have to say good night and do some recording of the interview with Marcus Law. I'm sure that he'll be quite a while now in the changing rooms. And,
yeah.
I'm sure that he'll be very, very unhappy with that second half performance after getting themselves into a very, very good position. And we've got Luke Graham, who is a part of the coaching staff. We can have a word with Luke and see what he has to say about it. Wasn't in the squad today, but let's listen to see what Luke has his view on this game. Luke, can we get him in? Bring him over. Yeah, that's, so yeah, here's Luke. Not seen Luke for a little while.
Graveyard shift today.
Graveyard shift. Graveyard shift for Luke. Welcome. Especially after 2-1 up in your eyes, watching it from the sidelines there on the bench. How did you view the last, say, 20 minutes or so?
Just some poor decision making. You know, for the second goal, the lad's made a run outside of Snoop, and then he's in a bit of a 2v1 situation, and then in the end he makes the decision to try and close the ball down, but it's difficult in 2v1, so we're out of balance, out of shape, and the lads had time to hit it in, and then near the end, needed his free kick. You know, Snoop's obviously dived in, 90 seconds left, and again, Carl Perry, I think it's an own goal to be fair for Rico, but he's done nothing. He caused a nuisance again in the box like he did at their place, and you know, unfortunately, game management. But let's not take away from the lads. You know, We've won, what, 7 or 8 games on the bounce. It's been a terrific run. Yeah, we wanted it to last another game, but ultimately we've got to dust ourselves down, have a look at it. We've bounced back from every defeat so far really, really well, and that's the first team. Obviously we've got a few more to come, but that we've not beaten over 2 games. They're a decent side, Coalville. They'll definitely make the playoffs in my opinion, so give them credit. They've sucker punched us, and
second goal was the one from Berry, wasn't it? The long range one that seemed to, just going for long range. It was out of the blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I said, we
wasn't closed down really, and
yeah, I think let's not beat around the bush. We weren't great tonight for whatever reason. A few lads underperformed. Work rate wasn't where it has been, and the standards we set ourselves. We were against. We had 10 men for over an hour.
Do you think that plays any part of it tonight? A bit of fatigue maybe from that?
No, but ultimately, it's still whatever thing. It's a mental thing, isn't it? And lads will never use excuses and whatever. But ultimately, we were up against it on Saturday. Lowestoft were a very poor team, but still we were under the cosh and worked hard. And I just think in them closing stages, as a group, better decision making, and you come away with something. I think a draw would have been a fair result, but fair play to Coalville. They, like I said, they're the only team so far that we've failed to beat over 2 games.
Another one against Banbury. They beat us 4-1 at their place, and we've got them on Saturday. That hopefully won't be the second team. That'll be both catch-up games. We'll have lost to the teams. Yeah.
Well, we owe Banbury. That's got to be probably the worst up there, the worst performance I've been involved in, and lads will put that to bed tonight, and we'll go again on Saturday. But ultimately, Banbury, in the manner of that defeat. And I remember Marcus's interview. The manner of that defeat was really, really poor, and I'm pretty sure we bounced back of beating Hitchin 5-0. So that'll be in the back of the lads' minds. Everyone was involved in that performance. It was up there, one of the worst this season. So reaction from tonight and Banbury coming, we owe everyone to go and get a result Saturday. But listen, twists and turns.
Marcus said last Saturday that if there are slip-ups, we've got plenty of games to go ahead to still be there. I mean, we're 8 points clear. We've still got a game in hand. I mean, it's got to be another. If we win on Saturday, that's 11 points, isn't it? That means they've got to win another 3 games. Kettering got to lose another 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to do that. So, in the day, sometimes in a title race, a timely reminder of what we've been doing well. And that's game management. Everyone at it, work rate, shape. Let's give Marcus credit. We're constantly talking on the sidelines how we can change and win a game of football. We're not looking for a draw. We're looking to win every single game. And over the last 7 or 8 games, we're constantly making changes and subs, and have paid off. And we've got last-minute winners. At 2-2, who would have bet against us scoring a late winner again today? But unfortunately, the other teams done it to us. So no panic stations. We're calm.
We are going to lose Aaron O'Connor for 3 games at the moment. Not got Adam Cunnington in the squad at the moment either. We're just going to probably go back to when Rhys Furness was up front, along with Holman maybe.
Well, there's options, but don't forget Ben Milnes has played a key part over the last few weeks, and he'll find himself unlucky not to be involved. So he comes back into the mix as well. Obviously, Gary Storer coming today. Brett's always in the mix at some point, so there's plenty of options there. We don't have to worry. On paper it looks like we're a little bit thin, and maybe I'll sit on the bench on Saturday. But at the end of the day, we've still got Ben Tozen in the fray. Ben Bradshaw's around the football club. We've got plenty of boys to cope. We've got lots of depth in the squad. Testament to the boys. I haven't been needed, so at the end of the day, we've got plenty of depth in the squad. I miss playing. 110% miss playing. It's just how things have evolved, really. I've really enjoyed the coaching, and I think it's sometimes in football, I live up the road. When I come back, I say I'll do whatever for this football club, and ultimately the lads who've been in defence have done well for the majority of the season. Maybe I haven't took my chance when I played, but I'm still a registered player. I'm still more than good enough to play at this level, but I think it's not easy to be a coach and a player and have 2 hats on.
It's difficult.
Yeah, and I think when you're taking training like I am and things like that, and you're trying to keep fit. At Brackley, I'm playing. I was training twice a week. Played 43 games last year. And then some of you're taking coaching since we're coming in October, take a lot of the coaching and things like that. It's not easy just to go, as good as a player I've been in the past, just to turn it on and go and play. And I think it's just evolved. There's no issue between me and Marcus. We're close. Me love Tom, and I think I've been a good addition to the backroom team. So when I'm needed, I'll be fit, I'll be ready. I'm going to time and take my chance, and I'll be registered for a player for a while longer yet. I'm not too over the hill, but yeah, you miss it when you're not playing. But ultimately, I really enjoy the coaching side of it. I like making an impact with my thoughts and like getting around the lads, and I think it's been a positive thing for the football club. And like I say, I live up the road, so whatever the club asks me to do, I'll do, and to make sure we keep going in the right direction as a football club. And I'm sure we will. We'll get a result Saturday, and we'll kick on, and we'll have more than 8 points hopefully come 5 o'clock Saturday, and all to play for.
Okay, Luke, thank you very much for your thoughts. Let's hope your prophecy comes right on Saturday. Cheers. And we get up to 11 points. But we shall see on Saturday, and see you on Saturday as well. So, Luke Graham's views there, which is good to hear from the backroom staff. Hopefully we'll get Marcus to come in at some point. If not, we will stop recording live and go to recording and take it from there. But, disappointment all round there. Positive thoughts though from Luke Graham. 8 points ahead is the vital thing. I'd rather be in our position than in Stourbridge's position. And as he said, Coalville are a decent team, and they proved that on 2 occasions that we've played them this season how good they've been.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Luke said they're the only team that we haven't beaten over 2 games so far this season. So it shows how good they are. Their form's been a little bit up and down of late, but they're still well in the playoff mix. They'll be tricky for anybody who has to play them in the playoffs.
Okay, well, it looks like Marcus is going to be a little while yet, so we haven't got any highlights to show because we can't show those at the moment, but we will have a highlights package available for you later in the week, which will show the goals and hopefully the Luke Graham interview, and also if we do get a meeting with Marcus's thoughts on today's game as well. No doubt he'll blame me, as I said, let's make it 8 out of 8. And we haven't made it 8 out of 8. But as I say, I'd rather be in our position than in Stourbridge's position at this stage of the season. Don't forget, Banbury United visit Latimer Park on Saturday. And if you want a DVD of Kettering versus Charlton Athletic, the FA Cup 4th round tie from 1988-89, where Robbie Cook became the leading FA Cup goal scorer of that year or that season, then you can get these hopefully on Saturday behind the bar, which has been pioneered by Richard and myself to get this sorted out for the Tin Hat Fund, which you're majorly involved in. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we're over the £3,000 mark now, and keeping more money coming in tonight, so just keep it going, and we'll get there eventually. Looks like the way we're going, probably Christmas is a reasonable target to get it done and dusted by then, but we will get there, and got lots more things coming up to raise money, which we've got the brass band concert that's coming up in April, which we'll be putting on the Facebook page and Twitter and stuff with all the details of that, which they're hoping to raise about £1,000 from that, which will be marvellous to go into the pot. We've got, I believe there's a football tournament possibly going to happen at the beer festival. There'll be some details of that soon as well. We've got this DVD on sale. We're hoping also to do an end of season DVD, which will raise money for the Tin Hat Fund and for Poppy's TV as well. So yeah, lots of things on the go, and obviously the border sponsors, there are people signing up to that all the time, and that is our biggest fundraising thing. So you can find all the details on the Poppy's Trust website, www.poppystrust.co.uk.
Well, there we go, that's all the advertising. We're going to say good night now, and hopefully we'll get Marcus Law to come in a little while. I'm getting nothing from the director, who's tonight's been Ed Palmer. It's done a very good job in there, so we're going to close down now and take a recording from Marcus, if he should make it. See you all tonight, but we go again on Saturday, and we could be 11 points clear. Let's hope we are. Good night.